pick up some mushroom.
And lose the election. And this goes back to what we've been talking about for the last week or so.
Woo,
The
cool.
liberal distribution of the
Okay.
What's surprising you as you watch this unfold tonight?
Well, what's surprising me is that Kevin Singh is not doing as well as we thought he was going to do. In Ontario, he's not doing as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he does in British Columbia because I think that is the last question mark for this election. British Columbia, what happens? I've got my eye on Jagmeet Singh and the Democrats to see whether that region can kind of hold on to some of those NDP ridings.
And Amanda, I want to bring you in here. Obviously, a minority government, there's so much attached to it. Whether all of these spending promises are even going to get green lighted now.
Yeah, and I've spent obviously the last days, especially but weeks, even talking to people who invest here from around the world.
Oh,
How
she
much
changed
does it
her
matter, right?
outfit,
And I can
Camille.
tell you that if these numbers
Oh,
are down
different
less and
person.
less, we're gonna
Different
see
person, I
certainty
think.
in the number of
Amanda,
votes
yeah,
that
wrong.
have here.
Lang.
So it takes some of the angst out of
Lang
it.
or
We
long?
see a big swing.
Lang.
Looney would be my guess.
Oh,
You're
yes,
gonna
she
see
here
this
all the
fear
time, but
of big spending from the left. And you might see that it's a case-by-case kind of a minority government, right? It's not a formal coalition or even a loose, informal, it might be a bill-by-bill kind of coalition. And so I think international investors will be actually soothed by what we're seeing here.
Can I just pick up on what Nick's saying? And I want to say something that Tom won't hear at our table
Okay.
can't say.
I'll
Look,
take care of
Jagmeet
it.
Singh, we've talked a lot about it. Jagmeet Singh, from the looks of it right now, will have significantly fewer seats than under Tom Mulcair. I know Tom can't say all this. He will go from third place, but it looks like to fourth place, depending what happens in BC behind the block, right? And still somehow declare victory because it's a minority government.
Okay.
Which is a remarkable feat to drop seats, to drop out of Quebec, to drop position, and still say, you know what, I can be the balance of power, and saves his political survival on any other calculation. It's a bad night.
It's such an interesting point that the two winners of tonight maybe are the two leaders who will not be prime minister.
Two leaders.
Jagmeet Singh was the big winner on a personal basis. You know, it's pretty clear he performed well in both the French and the English debates. He was good on the hustings. Canadians like what they heard. So on a personal basis, he was a big winner in terms of what Canadians think about Canada.
Okay, that's good. Oh, wow. What 32 here, Camille? What it mean? 32 seats. Oh, he plus 22 seats.
Story right now, 14 seats lost. Antonia in the province of Quebec, Bill 21 followed all the candidates, all the leaders through this as we watch Catherine McKenna in the Ottawa Centre riding.
Oh, wow.
Environment Minister won her seat.
Catherine McKenna.
As soon as she starts talking, Antonia, I'm going to
Oh, wow.
listen in, and I think there's a little Bill 21 because we know that's going to stick out.
Was the NDP going?
Liberals. Oh, that's so. It's a picking France. Re-elected.
You have to speak French if you're a politician.
Ottawa Centre, yeah.
You have to speak French and English.
Oh, yeah, French and English.
You had no choice.
Same when you work for government, right? You have to speak French and English. Ontario.
I don't like her voice. It sounds very rough.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. She's a strong woman.
And I'm really humbled. Really humbled that the people of Ottawa Centre have chosen to put their trust again in me.
เขาบอกว่าขอบคุณนะคะที่ให้ความเชื่อถือกับตัวฉัน ภาษาฝรั่งเศสนะคะ
I've had a chance to
อ๋อ
speak
นี่ภาษาอังกฤษละ เมื่อกี้พูดภาษาฝรั่งเศส
parties, and guess what? They're all women.
โอ้ได้ออกวูแมนผู้หญิงทั้งนั้น
It was great to run a race with strong women representing all the major parties, and I think that's a sign of how far politics has come.
yes เขาบอกว่าผู้หญิงทั้งนั้นนะคะที่ได้
No candidate
ได้เลือกตั้งนะคะได้เขาเรียกอะไรได้ชอบได้ลูก
I wanted to say a few words about what we're seeing tonight and what we've
Ooh,
been through
my fire.
as a country over the last 6 weeks. This has been a tough campaign.
อ่า
It's been a tough campaign in Ottawa Centre. It's also been a really tough campaign for the country.
อืม
I got into politics
ชนะ
because
แล้ว
I believe politics is a force for good.
อืม
I think one of the lessons that is emerging from today's results is the need for a more positive political culture in our country.
อืม
We all have work to do to bring people together and remember the value of hearing each other
Oh look at
and being open to
the
different
old
ideas.
the
And
leader
here we're
maybe
seeing Ralph Goodale walk into his party headquarters there in Regina, Wascana. Stunning, this man walked into Parliament 1974.
Wow.
Here he is, what was it, 8 consecutive election victories tonight. He loses significantly to Conservative new MP-elect Michael Cram. And as you see this, these people have supported this man for so many years and the work that he has done, really a public servant, a career
He's been
politician.
in Parliament since 1992,
Mm.
and he was elected the first time in his 70s when he was 24
Oh, okay
in the 1970s. Then he took a break for a while, then he went back in 1992.
Okay. They have a lot of experience eh?
Waiting for Pam and I to get here this evening. Thank you very much for your courtesy.
ไม่เกินเลย
I want to begin by saying congratulations
How about
to the Prime
Bob
Minister for leading
Rockford
the next government of
Bobby,
Canada.
that's provincial government,
Oh
not federal.
not federal okay sorry no just asking look
I mean, it's different, okay? Completely different.
A very important national victory. It will, of course, be a very different parliament,
อ่า
a very challenging parliament, but we can indeed have great confidence in his leadership of that parliament.
อืม
I also want to note, while we're still only partway through the results this evening, that my great friend and colleague, Chief Tammy Cook Searson, is doing very well in the Stephanie Church of the So we'll look forward
Christ, this guy's been elected 9
to
times.
those further results. And may I also
I respect him.
he got a lot
to
of
all
experience
of the other candidates for the Liberal Party in every corner of Saskatchewan, here in Regina, Winter, and Jordan. There's Winter. Jordan, where are you? Thank you for your campaigns. Thank you for running so well. I was proud of every moment to be associated with you. And there will be future campaigns to contest for both of you. And to all of the other candidates all over Saskatchewan for their dedication, their hard work, their commitment.
basically is it over yet no
And their
15x
Mommy,
121
This is going to change, Mom. Because some of the parties, they're still counting.
อ๋อค่ะ
So it might change.
Yeah,
But this
look-
is what they think is going to happen.
All of them for the efforts that they have made to stand for public office and stand for the things for which they believe. So congratulations to all of them in all the parties.
กำลังดูผลการเลือกตั้งของประเทศแคนาดาค่ะ
I also tonight want to congratulate Mr. Cram and wish him well in the next Parliament of Canada. I also want to say to all of you who have worked your hearts out for the last number of weeks and months and in some cases years here on my behalf in Regina, Wascana, my very, very deepest appreciation.
deep appreciation.
The
That's a very
extraordinary
classy way to say thank you.
Yeah, I know.
representing this
Deep,
constituency
deep,
for
Deepest
26 years.
deepest
And
appreciation.
it has been a singular honor every day
Yeah.
to step into the House of Commons.
Another girl in different place now
It is again a big defeat
in life.
for Zariah Milton, losing to Adam Van Olympic gold medalist.
Olympic gold medalist, the girl here, right?
No,
The woman.
she
Yeah.
lost to the Olympic gold
Oh,
medal.
okay. She lost.
Please,
Okay.
you have to listen with your big ears.
Yeah, I know. I didn't hear them more. That's the
She's
reason it is.
conservative, Mom.
Conservative candidate Ontario, Lisa.
Awesome support from everybody. That was very, very helpful along the way. My EDA board was extremely helpful. They were fantastic in supporting. They fundraised. They made sure I was ready for this election. But the reality is, guys, it's not the result that we wanted tonight, was it? Unfortunately. But I can tell you this.
Oh,
I am so lucky
she
to
close,
have
very close.
Meltonians for the
No,
It's
she's
second.
not. It's 4,000 votes, Mom. That's quite
Yeah, I
different.
know. 18 and
We have an arts and culture center now. We have a velodrome.
she second. Second is good.
And those are things that we can say that we
Wow.
accomplished together and that are going to make our community so much better for so many more years than just 2 years of a minority government.
Look how they're smiling, Camille. It's open, big, wide open.
I had to get something in, right? I want to say thank you very much to our leader, Andrew Scheer, for giving me the opportunity of being the deputy leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. It has been an absolute pleasure. I've been able to go coast to coast to coast to the leadership.
You know, Mom, Justin Trudeau was kind of smart with this because she's the deputy leader of the Conservative Party. She's like the second one in charge of the Conservative Party after Andrew Scheer. This
Oh,
woman. And she lost her own riding. You know why? Because Justin Trudeau, he picked the gold medal Olympics guy to come run against her. And he knew he was very popular and he would get the vote.
oh,
So
okay.
it's kind of smart the way Justin
Oh,
Trudeau
because
did
they
it.
have a lot of experience.
And the other day he came there and he started campaigning and supporting the gold medal guy to get popularity so she can get out of power.
Oh, okay. That's a they call the games, Camille.
Awesome to be amongst each other. I'm delighted.
Well, she seems like a very nice lady.
Yeah, I know she's very good.
And again, I want to thank
They're all good, Camille.
Sure.
one of the person. I want to thank Fight for
It's
I feel bad for
Do for
Maxime
fun.
Bernier. He's the biggest loser of all.
yeah.
He didn't even get, he got zero. He had 338
Sorry about that.
people running for him and zero won.
300.
38 people running.
Oh.
One person in every single riding with
Yeah.
his party and they all lost. He didn't
Sorry.
even win his own.
We're going to get a deeper look at some of the other changes unfolding in the province of Quebec, where the bloc
Wow.
they're sitting right now at 32, but I'm going to hand it over to Omar with Nick and Rupin for some analysis there.
You're pretty good, this guy, yeah.
Right now, but let's zero in on Quebec because it is a fascinating picture when you drill down on exactly what that block surge looks like in Quebec, and you can see all of this
Hey,
here. Lisa.
Camille,
That
can I online when they have election on TV like
block
this?
surge.
It's
This is
all
the
right?
island of
That's what
Montreal.
people are doing all the time.
Oh, okay.
You can flip it around so they can watch.
But then all around it really is a microcosm of
Turn it
what we're
around.
seeing
Give them a chance to watch.
โอเค เขาบอกว่า ลองหันไปดูซิว่าพี่นิดดูอะไร
here. The popular vote in Quebec for the BQ
นี่ค่ะกำลังดูทีวีอยู่ค่ะ ผลการเลือกตั้งนะคะ
So think of it this way. For the
นี่
Plan A for majority
เป็นไปตามคาดนะคะ
from the Edmonton
ฉลองกันหน่อย
The Bloc have effectively crushed Plan A for the Liberals, but they managed to do well. I guess they made lemonade out of lemons, and the rest
The
of
Bloc
Canada.
Québécois did really good this election.
And let's switch the board if we
Almost
can.
all of
It's a little
Quebec
bit
is for their
about,
party.
seat change. And,
But
here
they
we
didn't
have
win
the
it.
Liberals losing 7, but
Ah,
again,
Liberal
the
lost
Bloc
minus 7 that's lost 7 seat right
we're
Yeah.
doing now, right
But
now,
it's
we're
okay.
talking a little bit
NDP
about
13
21. So, I think it was around September 18th, a week into this election,
You know why Jagmeet didn't win?
Yeah.
Because he didn't say anything about Bill 21.
Bill 21.
Justin
Oh.
Trudeau, you know Bill 21, do you know what it is, Mom?
Well, no, what is it?
Mommy, in Quebec, because Canada is not, you know the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms?
Yes.
The rest of Quebec as well.
When they set that up in 1982, I believe, every single province signs the Constitution except for Quebec.
Okay.
That means we're all protected, our rights are protected in every province but Quebec. Because they did not sign the Constitution. Because they never signed the Constitution, Mom,
It pretty
It
much
mean-
looks
it
like the
means
map that you're
that they
seeing
can do
in
whatever they
Quebec
want in
in
their
terms of
laws.
support for
Oh.
and we
Montreal.
can't stop
So
them.
they're supporting
Okay.
the
So what they
Montreal,
did this
and
a
there's
few months
much
ago,
lower
they
level
they
support in the
adopted
rest
this
of the
rule.
province.
This
You'll
guy
find
in the Bloc Québécois,
older
terrible thing he
voters,
did.
in the rest of the province,
Bill 21.
and,
That
and
means
they voted
if you-
with their
You
consciences
cannot
this
wear
time around, as you
anything
can see
about
with the
your
map that you're
religion
seeing
if
there.
you work in a public job. So
Okay.
if you're a teacher and you have a turban on your head, you cannot wear your turban. You cannot wear a cross. You know, you cannot wear a hijab. You can't express who you are. You
Yeah.
can't express your religion out in public like that.
And
And that's causing a lot of problems because you, like, if you grew up and you wanted to be a teacher or work for government,
you have
can't
to
do
be,
that.
yeah, you have to be open.
Again,
No, you can't show who you are, Mom.
Oh, okay.
You can't like say you're Buddha, Mom. Say you want to wear like a necklace with a Buddha on it. You can't wear that. You're not allowed.
Not in the school, not
Not
in the public.
Not in
Yeah.
the public.
Okay.
And that's kind of ridiculous, and people are really protesting against it. And the guy from the Bloc Québécois, he wanted this. That's what he did. And Jagmeet Singh, he wears a turban. So if he was a teacher in Quebec, he would not be allowed.
Truly love, and I'm so deeply grateful to, are the people in this room and the literally
Anyway.
hundreds of other people.
So the problem
who
with what
worked
he did in
so
this
hard
election,
on
he
this
never stood
campaign.
up against
You
this
guys
law.
are
You know who was the only
amazing.
one who stood up against the law? Justin Trudeau.
Ah.
Justin Trudeau is the only one out of all the federal
Doing it,
leaders
yeah.
who said, hey, this is not right, and I think I'm going to have to get involved as a federal government if this does not stop, because you're taking people's rights and freedoms away. And he's the only one who stood up for that. And I'm really disappointed in Jagmeet, because he wears a turban. He should be the one saying something, because it really affects him the most. But no, he didn't do it.
He didn't say. That's why people don't too much.
And that was very disappointing to me.
That's all right. Now the result is pretty good.
Not much of an appetite for an independent.
To me,
even
it's pretty
a
good.
high-profile candidate like Jane Philpott. One of the things she had going against her is the Liberal candidate is high profile as well, a fellow doctor. She was at Queen's Park, an MPP for 10 years. She was ousted in the provincial election, but certainly made a big showing tonight. Also, the fact that independents, historically, they have a tough road. If you look at the history of them since the mid-70s, candidates who are in the same situation as Jane Philpott, so that they were elected with a party and then they either left or were ousted. Only 4 have been elected since the 70s. The last one was in 2008, Bill Casey. So they knew it was going to be a difficult road and just not what the residents here wanted tonight. Lisa.
Okay, so yeah, disappointing, I'm sure, for Jane Philpott. We're going to take a look now over in
Oh,
Vancouver
poor
Granville
Maxine
for the,
Bernier. I feel very bad for him.
still
He should have at least won his own
50
seat.
of 200
He couldn't even
people
win his own
reporting
seat.
that
That's
Jane
right.
Philpott
Aw.
behind is now
That's
in
No,
the
but
lead,
listen, that's kind of
look
shameful.
at that.
Because if you're the leader of the federal party, your seat is almost guaranteed. And he couldn't even get his own seat. Oh my God.
Come here,
Poor
that
man.
is election. Look, take easy on it.
Formula One cars on the right track, you're real fast, but now you're off-roading and it's bumpy.
Well, I want to ask, we have Donna and Derek here from Vancouver joining us. First of all, what was it like, the whole Jody Wilson-Raybould story for actual voters, people who live there? Donna?
I found it really disruptive. It was confusing. There were sort of two sides, and it didn't seem like there was any intention to come together.
Do you mean the whole SNC story, the accusation that she had been pressured by the Prime Minister's office to make a decision?
And the thing, it really upset me the day I heard on the radio that she had taped that person's phone call. She'd phoned somebody in the government at his
Michael
office,
Warnick, who was the
not warned him that she was taping that and was going to broadcast it on the radio. And when I heard that, I just thought, wow, I'm not sure that I trust somebody like that.
And what about you,
That's why
Derek?
Justin Trudeau
first
kicked
of
her
all,
out of
you
the
should tell
party.
everybody you've joined the
And
Kitchen
Andrew
Table
Scheer,
because we
he
are
attacked
hearing the
he
numbers,
attacked
and you
Justin
didn't
Trudeau
vote
and
either.
says, oh, you kicked her out because she's indigenous.
Oh.
But that's not true. That's not the reason why Justin Trudeau kicked her out. Justin Trudeau kicked her out because she recorded a phone call with a government official without his permission and released it to the public.
Oh.
That shows that she's not, you cannot trust her.
Yeah,
It has nothing to do with her being indigenous, but that's how Andrew Scheer, he made it sound like.
That is stupid how
Exactly.
they talk it.
I know. And that's why he kicked her out.
Information wasn't
I
totally
know.
clear. There were opposing.
I don't blame him for that.
Perspectives.
Because you can't have someone that you can't trust on your party like that.
To me,
Mm.
It doesn't matter if you're a woman or if you're indigenous.
Freeland talked
Mm.
about how there had been times that Trudeau had stepped in.
That's a
and said,
long hour,
"I know
dear
you're going in
people.
that direction, but I really think we should move in this
Gonna be
direction."
all night, eh,
And I
Kamel?
believe that her
Very
summary was,
interesting.
well, he's my boss.
I'm gonna go to bed at 1 o'clock. I'll go to bed very soon.
Oh no, stay with me, Kamel.
Mommy,
You can do it.
Mommy, I have my graduation.
Yeah, I know. I make sure you get up.
Right from the beginning of the election was climate change, and I thought if that is my biggest concern, then to vote for a party that is reasonably strong with climate change, but not as strong as the Green Party.
And then look at this, as you're talking, well, it's just low pass, but I just saw the British Columbia numbers, and the Conservatives were up 7 seats. Here, I think we can show you
Oh, Trudeau, he's not winning British Columbia. It's okay. He still won the election.
My net fine now, Kamel.
You see,
That's
he
it.
went to
Mine
British
it too.
Columbia. That was his last
Oh,
stop
not
to try to
bad.
get
We were
votes.
talking about this. They thought they'd moved from
Ed
Quebec
Vance.
to West, so far we haven't seen
No,
it surge.
I'm very surprised that that happened in British Columbia. I was very surprised, for example, to see Sven Robinson doesn't appear to be winning in
Oh
Birmingham.
wow, block 32. Why you say block don't get a seat, Kamel? 32 where which number come from?
32, Mom.
Yeah.
Mommy, no, I'm talking about People's Party.
Okay.
Purple, Mom, not blue.
Okay. Not
Purple has 0 seats. 0.
green.
Not even their own.
They want. This is where the Conservatives can speak through, and we're seeing some evidence of that.
That's
right now.
You
okay.
think you canceled each other out? The Green vote, the Liberal vote?
We live in a very liberal ride. I believe that we have had a Liberal in power elected as our MP since 48.
We can find that information out for you right now. What is your right
I think that's a challenge.
Joyce Murray.
And so, the chance of
You've come to the right place.
the chance of her not making it is very, very slim. I don't think she needed my vote.
Donna, are you disappointed that you're not seeing the surge of the Greens?
Yeah, I'd like to have seen them get more seats. I think Elizabeth May really deserves it.
One of the things we've seen, and just having been out in Vancouver just recently, and hear the health critic being re-elected, being elected in Vancouver, but we wandered through the downtown east side, and I think it was an education to Canadians who saw that, the shocking impact of the fentanyl and the opioid crisis, and this is your city. How does that, and it didn't really come up on the campaign trail.
It's always upset me. I can't bear it because it's not even just limited to the downtown east side. The whole fentanyl thing is everywhere on the streets. You can go downtown to the Hudson's Bay and there are people sleeping right there on the sidewalk or on a heat vent that comes up from under the sidewalk.
Derek, did you want to see more on the federal campaign trail to tackle what is clearly a national crisis?
Absolutely. It was, it was a disappointing election, I think. It slipped more into the negative than the positive. I didn't hear enough about fentanyl. I didn't hear enough about healthcare.
And you had your own personal experience with this
Yeah,
crisis.
we did.
We lost my grandson about a month ago. Sorry. Yeah. He he had kidney disease, and he had been asking to be sent to the pain clinic to manage the pain because there was one at St. Paul's Hospital, and fentanyl. He was just a beautiful human being.
Well, our thoughts are with your family. That is such an overwhelming loss, and it is a story that I think the whole country feels and has felt when you see these pictures. Why it doesn't come up? Let's ask the politicians on our panel, former politicians.
I mean, a former health minister dealt with this issue. It's a huge problem across the country, but particularly in British Columbia, where we know some of these drugs are coming in from overseas, from China specifically. Lots of work to try and stop that, but it's still happening, and they're flooding into Vancouver. It's a major problem, but we didn't hear about a lot of different issues during the campaign. It really was, I think, I hear that from a lot of people, what you're saying, just this overwhelming disappointment with the campaign, that we didn't hear about policy. We heard about personalities and attacks, and we just didn't get to that level of discourse that Canadians really expect during an election campaign, so they can really think about the issues and cast their ballot.
That disconnect, you tell that story, we're so sorry for your loss, but sometimes I think, Lisa, we try to cover this, that connection between what we're doing here with all these stories, and then when politics matters, it's with your grandson and families, and that's what we got to shorten the connection to, and just hearing that, you realize you got to move closer to the people and less with these, the big scandals that we talk about, because it drives a lot of attention.
Well, when our grandson was in high school, he was aware of the kids in the high school that he was in. It was a big
Oh
one.
my God, this is the federal election. I don't want to listen to your
There were a lot of
grandkids'
kids
stories.
who needed help medically and psychologically, and they didn't know where to turn. They were afraid to tell their parents some of the concerns, or maybe their family doctor. And so our grandson went down to see our Liberal, or our NDP leader, and he MLA.
So you did actually try to appeal to the government officials in your.
Our grandson tried to do it through our NDP MLA, and the two of them went out together. But when we were talking to him just recently, David Eby is his name. He said, "It wasn't my campaign. That was your grandson's. He prepared the whole thing. I just."
Well, that is a beautiful legacy, and we thank you both so much for sharing such a personal
She had to cut
story
them
with
out,
us.
yeah.
That didn't get the attention. Things like climate change did get a lot of attention over the last 40 days. We're going to go.
Yeah, she had to cut them out because she's
I'm not trying to be mean. Like, I'm sorry about your grandkids, but this is the federal election. I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that.
no, Lisa, เราฟัง that's why she tried to control situation, Kamel. By cut her out a little bit in the polite way, right?
And the environment minister, we had talked with the panel as well about the tone of the campaign, and that's one of the first things you said. What were you referring to? What is it about the tone of the campaign? Because I had mentioned, looking at your Twitter account, it is just unbelievable the vitriol that gets thrown your way. Why? And is that what you were referring to?
Well, I will say in the local campaign, I think it was good, but nationally, the tone was not good. And I think that's something I got into politics because I believe in positive politics. And I think that's one reflection. I talked to lots of people, and I'm really proud of how we did and engaged people, and we won, which is great. But I think, look, I think that politics is really important, but people are gonna disengage from politics if everyone is shouting at each other. And also, I mean, there were a lot of things that weren't even accurate that were out there. So, look, I think we can do better as a country.
Was it you? When you look at that, the attacks that you face, and I would argue, I've watched politics and covered it for a long time, there's a particular tone. Is it the issue? Is it you? Is it women? What do you think about it?
Well, I think about that a lot. And so, certainly, I think climate change is polarizing. It's actually interesting. Someone did an analysis I happened to see of all my tweets, and there are organized campaigns by people who are against climate action, for sure. And then there seems to be this weird thing: if you are against climate change, you
Amount of people, a lot, eh? 20,000, that's a lot of people. I mean, bigger city, right?
The Environment Minister, Catherine McKenna, big win in Ottawa Centre tonight. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. So there you have it, Lisa.
They're so happy about it.
For McKenna, she wants a change in tone in the whole country, in the whole campaign, pointing to some of the things that she's faced during this campaign.
Well, I think so many people share that opinion, so it's really up to the politicians, the elected officials to change the legislation. We'll see what happens in this new Liberal minority government. Marie-Claude Bibeau, we can now report, has been re-elected. NAFTA, of course, one of the big files for her, and somebody want to weigh in, Rana, perhaps, on what the challenge for her in her riding with the gains and losses in the NAFTA file.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I think for her specifically, she's the agriculture minister, and so having to deal with, and from Quebec no less, having to deal with some of the disappointment in the agriculture sector around
people here that sit 6-7 hours already, right now?
But also
7 since what? 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 5 hours already. They're sitting here.
A tough file.
And for Quebec, Antonia, let me ask you this. I mean, that is, we don't really, again, talk about that. We've acknowledged the fact that agriculture didn't really make hash marks in this campaign. But for Quebec farmers, a lot of them
Lisa LaFlamme, she awesome.
they're not getting the kind of attention they want. There's, well, let me just say, Carla Qualtrough has been re-elected in Delta. Again, that was supposed to be a close race, but a significant victory for her. Antonia?
So the farmers, in particular dairy farmers, were also up in arms against the NAFTA. And one of the things that was really evident there was that farmers in Quebec and dairy farmers in Quebec may have been looking for another way. We saw also that they were up in arms against Maxime Bernier. And Maxime Bernier talked a lot about getting rid of supply management. That was one of his main planks in his campaign. We've seen how that's turned out for him in the Beauce.
We haven't really revisited the whole Bill 21 conversation. You just reminded me when you said Maxime Bernier. But what happens with that now? Justin Trudeau was really the only leader who said, I may be possibly.
That was the strongest response we got. I mean, listen, right now when we look at the seat count, he's going to have to think about, we're beyond the election, right? We're beyond appealing to the Quebec votes right now. We're now having to govern. We're now having to
getting
be prime
tired.
minister. And the tapestry of this country is going to be dependent on him taking a bold, necessary stance to ensure that stuff like this does not permeate beyond Quebec, and despite its popularity.
Well, why would you abandon people in Quebec? I mean, discriminatory piece of legislation that says that a young Muslim woman who's finishing her studies to be a teacher will have to move to another province. So I think that the federal government has the obligation to do what it did when it stood up against Bill 101 and the Quebec clause versus the Canada clause on access to English school. The Attorney General of Canada has an obligation to defend everybody's rights, including people in Quebec. I've had lots of opportunity to talk about that, and I still don't understand that any more than I understand Andrew Scheer's saying overtly from Trois-Rivières on the first day of the campaign that he fully supported François Legault's right to bring in that discriminatory legislation.
I think of all errors, it did not pay off. Like, for all the mealy mouth, they all sneezed into their napkins when they were asked, how are you going to stand up to this bill that you all called discriminatory? They didn't say anything because they thought, you know what?
And the bloc got over 30
Right, and then the bloc still got over 30, so for all that, they thought, oh, we're going to save my political future. I don't want to stand against this, what's, quote, popular, and yet, so they missed a principled opportunity, and it didn't pay off politically.
One of the most disappointing things in the campaign was to see the leaders of our country not take a bold stand against this.
And when we talk about Jagmeet Singh, he's got an opportunity now. If he holds the center, any center of power, correct the record historically, because to have a man who wears a turban, a Sikh gentleman, ultimately
nothing. I'm just texting my friends about the election.
And if you look like me, I'm sorry, you can't be a police officer. You can't get a promotion.
Let's go right to that riding. We're going to go to Jagmeet Singh's riding, his headquarters. And Kevin Gallagher, you've been listening in on this conversation, and a lot of people who were looking for inspiration from Jagmeet Singh on the whole question of standing up to Bill 21, regarded as a discriminatory bill.
Well, and so does Jagmeet Singh. He said that it's state-sponsored discrimination. Of course, Lisa, we know that the NDP leader really doesn't think that it's a federal government's job to weigh in on a legal challenge, that there's already a legal challenge going on in Quebec, that they wouldn't open that legal debate right now, and that Jagmeet Singh thinks that it's more his responsibility to try and open up to appeal to the hearts and minds of Quebecers. We know that it's a popular piece of legislation, a popular law in Quebec, and so what Mr. Singh has said is that he needs to try and convince people that it is wrong before they can go and challenge it. But at the same time, those who are feeling that they're being discriminated against and would look to Mr. Singh for that type of hope that perhaps he could do something about it, well, they maybe were left disappointed.
Okay, Kevin, thanks for that. We're going to bring Vanessa Lee into the conversation now as we see Ruth Ellen Brosseau, who was the NDP reluctant victor back, what was it, 2011, and then, of course, in 2015, she won again. She got to know her riding. I think she was in Vegas when she originally won, but we're seeing a lot of block gains at the expense of the NDP. What's the read where you are and the message behind all of this as we discuss Bill 21 and what the leaders did and didn't do?
Ma'am, I saw the woman in Pakistan. Remember when the police get killed in Pakistan?
When she can, but I mean,
Last year.
It's such.
I saw
first
her.
of all, Tom, your reaction to Ruth Ellen Brossard?
She's such a strong MP. She's worked so hard. You're completely right. She didn't, like a lot of the people who got in during the Orange Wave in 2011 didn't know a lot about her riding. But she speaks fluent French now. She lives in the riding. She was loved. It's a very close race. There's still 40 polls left to go, but it doesn't look like it's there for her. I'm very sad for her, and all the best to her and her son Logan.
It's a hard race for her. Yves Perron is the president of the bloc, so he's someone who's pretty much a notable, and that's a tight race.
Wasn't he the guy who sort of took the word separatism off the table and called it La Voix de Québec instead the voice of Quebec?
That's right. So what we have in Quebec is
that not semantics?
Well, it's a strange kind of a situation, but I think the main thing to remember is that the bloc is trying to sort of transform itself into a party that talks about being proud, about being a Quebec nation, without necessarily having a sovereignist platform at this point in time. And that's really important to understand. The BQ is self-consciously, its militants and its base is self-consciously sovereigntist. Most of those MPs that have been elected, most of the people running in the Bloc Québécois are sovereigntists and like avowed sovereigntists, not closet sovereigntists. But the thing is that the BQ wanted to make its message, I think, palatable for a wider range of Quebecers, and did so by taking a page out of the provincial government's playbook, the CAT, which was to say, we're all about nationalism, we're all about standing up for Quebec's interests and fighting for Quebec's interests, which will be exactly what they did, particularly in the minority party.
Well, again, I want to go back to Jane Philpott's writing. She stood for principle. That's why she left the Liberal Party. She was kicked out of caucus, ran as an independent. Here she is in her riding where she has lost tonight as an independent. I think we've just missed that, but I believe we've recorded it, so we're going to bring that to you as soon as we can. I don't know, do you rewind tape anymore, Evan, in 2019, or what do you do?
Can I just say one thing, just going back to what Antonia said? There's a good moment of history here. 59 seats, the Orange Wave, in 2011, right, when the Orange Wave rolls over Quebec. We all thought, would that Orange Wave fertilize the ground and take deep roots? And it's over. There's one seat, and it was Tom Mulcair had one seat. And
here is Yves-François Blanchet arriving at his...
Oh, this guy, you come out. This guy, look, you're...
I like him. I mean, I don't like what he did with Bill 21, but everything else is not bad.
This guy, what his name again?
Yes, Francois Blanchet.
Huh?
Very French. James Francois Blanchet.
Oh, I don't know.
He's a very French
I
guy.
thought of Maxim.
No, Mom, that's not Maxime Bernier. He's the biggest loser of the night, Mom.
Who the guy here?
He's not conservative, but he's the teal, Mom, the light blue.
The light blue.
Yeah. and then Maxime Bernier is the purple guy. Okay,
Oh, I see.
there's the difference. He's very popular.
What happened now? He gone
Yeah, he's heading out to give his big speech.
and
Well, we have to
resign.
wait until Justin Trudeau comes, and he's going to deliver his big speech, his victory speech. He did a really nice speech last year with his wife Sophie and his kids.
Yeah, I want to see it. He got a seat, 32 seat, right, Camille? He's the number 3 of the country here.
No, that's awesome, and that's
Yeah.
only in Quebec, right?
Yes.
No, he's pretty good. I like him.
Okay, and he gave
Look
a
pretty
body
good to
blow
me.
on the
Look at
speech
him.
Was that last night? Saturday night. So
You
we'll
know
hear
what?
what he has to say right now. Again,
Oh,
he's-
wow.
He's doing his speech. It's gonna be in French.
Gonna be in
I
French.
can translate for
Yeah.
you.
Okay, tell me what happened.
It might translate for you already.
So they're going to have official party status and all the budgets that come with that, and that makes a big difference.
Wow.
Donald for third.
I
ended
wish.
with the block.
Mes amis,
My friends.
My friend เพื่อนๆทั้งหลาย
je nous trouve très fringants.
I find ourselves
Oh, there
pretty
you go, Mom.
excited.
โอ้ฉันรู้สึกตื่นเต้นมากฉัน
Vivants.
Are really alive.
รู้สึกว่ามีชีวิตชีวา
Je vous trouve très
By
jeunes.
a
golly,
French
I
guy.
find yourself to be very young.
โอ้รู้สึกว่าตัวเองนี่หนุ่มขึ้นตั้งเยอะพอนะ
Nous revenons
We
de
are coming back from far.
เรากลับมาอีกแล้วจาก
We will go
Thang cây.
even further.
เราจะไปไกลกว่านี้อีก
Permettez-moi
Allow me
d'adresser
to
d'abord
say
quelques
a
remerciements.
few thank yous.
Dans quelques heures,
อ่า
nous
อ
allons
นุญาต
Thank you.
อนุญาตให้ฉันขอ
That
ขอบ
my
คุณ
father
นะครับ
has left us
J'ai une pensée
I
pour
have a
son
thought
œuvre
for
vindicatif et son admiration.
his
pour René Lévesque.
admiration and his
Oh, he's just talking
passion
about
for
people
René
on his
Lévesque.
campaign that helped him.
อ่าเขา
Permettez-moi
Allow me to
de remercier
thank
Nancy
Nancy
อนุญาตให้ฉันขอบคุณแนนซี่
patience
pour leurs encouragements
much more for their
et
encouragement.
leur
และก็หลายๆคนที่เป็นกำลังใจให้
That their eyes that are shining at the best of times.
อ๋อ
I
eye
want to
shining
thank
of
the
the best
militants
de Belleuil
from
Chambly,
Belleuil Chambly,
les électeurs
the
de
voters
Belleuil Chambly,
of Belleuil Chambly.
อ๋อ คนแก่ในพรรคของเขานะคะ เป็นภาษาฝรั่งเศสนะคะ
Beyond my hope.
ฮะ
je veux
Salut in French means welcome.
welcome
Like we're saying
welcome
welcome
ยิน
you.
ดียินดียินดียินดี
When they say salut, it means like welcome
Je
to the
veux-
government.
I want,
Yeah.
They're happy.
je veux saluer
I
tous les
want to
militants
salute all the
dans le Bloc
militants
québécois,
of the Bloc Québécois. I want also to thank
mon conseiller,
my advisor
ami
and friend
et inspiration,
and inspiration, Mr.
what is
Gilles
okay
Duceppe.
กันไหม
Monsieur Gilles Duceppe,
Monsieur
vient
Gilles
d'ailleurs
Duceppe,
de confier au Bloc
who
québécois
just
son fils.
Given his son to the Bloc Québécois, who has been largely elected in Lac Saint-Jean.
Pour la trace indélébile
For
qu'il aura laissée
the
dans l'histoire
indelible
du Québec,
trace that he left
je veux aussi
in
remercier
the
Lucien Bouchard.
history of Quebec, I want to thank Mr. Lucien Bouchard.
มิสเตอร์เลเชียนบูซา
J'ai une pensée
I have a
amicale,
thought,
mais surtout
a friendly thought,
reconnaissante
but a
pour une
thankful thought for a team.
Une
โอ
petite
เค
équipe.
A small
ฉันรู้
team,
สึก
but a
คิด
team that
อย่าง
was cheap
เต็มที่
A
เล
lot
ย
of people on Twitter are very happy about Justin Trudeau.
by
En argent,
in human resources and money and time. We did a lot. And that with less than everybody else. And in many ways, it was a campaign that was a victory campaign.
อ่า
je gardais pour la fin
I kept
mes amis,
for the end my
candidates et
friends,
candidats.
the candidates.
Quel courage.
What a courage.
Bien sûr, aujourd'hui, avec le recul,
And today,
au moins, on peut se
in the
dire
inside,
que
we
c'est
can
un choix
say
qui
it
aurait
was
pu
a
avoir
choice
l'air un
that
peu
could
facile.
look easy.
Mais réalisez
But you
moi, il y
realize
a 6
that
mois,
6 months
quand
ago,
on était encore
when
des
we
fous,
were still crazy,
อืม
il y a des fous qui ont
but
dit oui,
crazy people said
qui
yes,
s'en viennent à la
and
chambre.
are coming at the House of Commons.
They have more than NDP. Like he's very successful.
Yeah.
And 8 months ago,
Yeah.
this party was chaos. They kicked the old leader out. And they replaced him. What? And the new guy is pretty good.
Ces gens-là ont mis those people put their professional lives
It's a
on
block
hold,
Quebec war, right, Kamel?
and they
Almost
have
all of Quebec
and
is just his party.
solemn obligation
The
towards
whole
Quebec.
Who the Maxime Bernier? He's a people something.
Party, but he's also from Quebec too.
Oh, I understand now. He's a purple party.
Purple guy, man.
Oh, he's a purple guy. Okay, I just mix up two between the guy here and another
Listen,
guy.
mommy, they're very, very different. Okay.
Okay, I understand now.
Very different.
Yeah.
Maxime Bernier is just
He
a
look
dog.
good to me. The guy here, I just wondering who is he?
Maxime Bernier is just like Canadian Donald Trump. They
Canadian
believe in the
Donald.
same thing.
Yeah, okay.
No party tonight.
He look good, this
Can
guy.
take control of the Commons.
Au Québec,
In Quebec,
le Bloc
the
québécois
Bloc
ne veut pas
do not want to form a government or be part of a government.
Oh, he not gonna combine with the
However,
government?
The
No.
Bloc can
Mommy,
merits collaborate with
the
any
Bloc
government.
Québécois is never going to become
If-
work with the government.
Because they want to be on their
No,
own.
the job of their party is to represent the
count
views
on
of
us.
Quebec.
Ah,
Not the whole country,
okay.
it's just Quebec.
Yeah, I understand.
So him winning 32 seats, that's him winning. Because he does not want to be prime minister. But he wants to represent Quebec and have as much voice as they can.
Si le
I
gouvernement
have to
If the
respect that.
government is speakable and it is in the
นี่นะคะเวลาเขาที่แคนาดานี้เขาจะพูดสองภาษาค่ะภาษาอังกฤษกับภาษาฝรั่งเศสนะคะพี่นี่ต้องฟังแบบภาษาอังกฤษนี่พี่นี่เข้าใจแต่ฝรั่งเศสพี่นี่ยัง
Mommy, this guy, he does not want to be prime minister. He just wants to represent his province, Quebec. Because he feels like the liberals, the conservatives, when you vote them in Quebec, they do not represent you like you're riding properly. And they do not represent the views of French
except
people.
if we talk about renouncing or compromising on values, our language, or the commitment of Quebec towards the secularization of public institutions. I don't believe that Quebecers and Canadians have elected a minority government in order to go back to the polls in a year and a half. I believe that Canadians and Quebecers are asking us, all parties in every area of the country, despite the deep
Like,
divisions
Mommy,
that
if
are
I lived in
marking the
Quebec,
political
I would
map of
probably
Canada
vote for him.
today.
And that's the truth.
They're asking us to work together.
But I just don't live in Quebec, so it doesn't really
Yeah, I
matter.
know.
But I like him. I like
Working
him though.
despite its imperfections, a country that doesn't do much about putting aside a quarter of its population in a constitution in which it never signed.
Yes. Okay, that is Yves-François Blanchet, leader of the Bloc Québécois, who of course speaks like a doctor tonight because there was a battle for third and it wasn't the Greens or the NDPs as was predicted. It ended up after 40 days being the Bloc Québécois. We are going to go now further east to Beauceville where we find
The Bloc Québécois.
Maxime Bernier.
The Bloc Québécois.
Maxime Bernier.
Ah, look at him. Whoa! Sorry for your loss.
Look at his eyes. He looks very sad.
It was a tough night for me and also for the people.
He looked good to me.
I can tell you that we will
I didn't
be
see
there,
nothing
we'll be
wrong
stronger
with it.
the next
Come on.
election. That's only one step in the life of this young party. My position on the abolition of the cartel.
Ah, look at him.
As you know, in both,
Richard.
it was
You
not
lost to a
popular with the
conservative.
producers.
Okay.
They prefer to
You lost to
elect
conservative.
the conservative candidates. And I'm very happy, very privileged that I had the opportunity to represent Beauce for 13 years. And I hope in a couple of months
Speaking
from now,
English,
years, I'll be able to be the member of parliament for Beauce. But we'll see what will happen. But I can tell you that I will always fight for what we believe.
Now, we watched with great interest Saturday morning your press conference after the story came out in the Globe and Mail. So tonight, after losing, what is your message to Andrew Scheer
Andrew Scheer
But my message is, first of all, what they did, try to destroy your party with fake news.
destroy the party with the fake
He's
news
saying the conservatives is what they try to do to him.
And you look at all the opportunities to fight about
destroy what he says
He says the conservatives and Andrew Scheer, they tried to destroy our party with fake news. And I'm going to take every opportunity I have to fight back.
Andrew Scheer didn't win because at the end he was not a conservative. He tried to be a liberal, and I think that's why he didn't win. We're the only
his accent ไหน
in the future the only
French
real
Canadian
conservative
speaking
option for Canadians.
I really like him though.
Yep.
The guy is different.
Yeah, I know.
Politics, it made them uncomfortable.
Like,
even in
listen,
your own
if I could
riding.
choose him, I think he should have been the conservative leader, honestly.
What's the plan moving forward?
It was so close.
To temper your message, there was a lot of accusations that you were really stoking nationalism.
Yeah, so what we will do, first of all, we'll have a discussion with our candidates and with our members, and but I can tell you that we'll always stick to our principles: individual freedom, personal responsibility, respect, and fairness, and that's important for us. But yes, we'll do a meeting with our people, and we'll look forward for the future. We'll see what will happen, but I think that the platform that we put forward during this election was a very fiscal, responsible platform, and we'll always fight for a smaller government in Ottawa and more freedom.
Okay, so just finally, Mr. Bernier, your reaction to what now is a liberal minority government with no new party as part of the new House of Commons. No People's Party.
Yeah, it would be more difficult for us to be out there and to speak about our platform. But it's a new beginning for the People's Party. We did a lot in 1 year.
Oh, he's gonna prepare for the next election.
Maybe 2 years, 3 years.
Oh, wow, that's
Oh yeah, he has time to prepare. He has
for the
4
next
years.
election for sure.
Next time he's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I feel bad for
Maxime
him.
Bernier, he makes a good point there, wherever that may be. Somewhere on here here it is. The average duration of a minority government. Here's some fun facts. Average duration 1 year and 7 months. Longest minority was 1925, 3 years and 7 months.
So we'll be back here.
Yeah, so you're taking it in our calendar.
Lots of work for pundits.
these people they're very
For other people.
what they call lots of patience what they call Camille
Farmers, man.
very tough that's the word
Leadership to Andrew Scheer,
Right?
it cost him a seat in the post as the
It's in
People's
that
Party
6
leader.
hour
That
already,
is one
yeah.
expensive glass of milk.
Okay, so
I just wanted to add, the People's Party, yes, they scored a goose egg on the scoreboard tonight.
Oh, they have
but
something.
They did,
Okay,
in
that's
this
good.
process, have 30,000 people across the country sign up to be members of this party. So while it might be dead in terms of no seats, Evan, I think there is something to be said around this movement might find some tentacles. And I hate to say it in the West, but it might find some tentacles somewhere.
Well, we're going to go west right now. Glenn McGregor is at Andrew Scheer headquarters, and Glenn, Maxime Bernier basically said
I wanna see
Andrew
what
Scheer's
Scheer
not a
said.
conservative.
right.
I don't think too many people in this room would agree with that. Now some of the candidates are now coming out on stage, local candidates who won. This has been a pretty somber night for Andrew Scheer supporters here. They only really got excited when they found out that Ralph Goodale across town had
Maxime
lost his
Bernier
seat.
said Andrew Scheer is a
It does
fake
leave
conservative,
Saskatchewan
not
without
real.
any
Oh,
representation
look at my channel Camille
situation,
look very good
likely in Alberta as well. Of course,
ถึงเวลาใส่เสื้อชูชีพ look at my picture Camille online look very good ถึงเวลาใส่เสื้อชูชีพ
It may, at the end of the day, leave Saskatchewan without a voice around the cabinet table or even in government, Lisa.
Okay, Glenn, really interesting, and I see they're at the podium behind you, so we will wait. And when Andrew Scheer steps up behind you, we will dip back. Thank you for this, though. But Anne, why don't you comment on that? How hard is it? The party has no representation now in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, where there's still some question marks for Manitoba. I don't know what
Yes.
some of the breakdowns are there.
Well, we've won a number of seats. Well, I say a number. I think maybe 4 in the city of Winnipeg. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard because it is your obligation as a government to represent all Canadians and understand the issues and the tensions and the aspirations of all Canadians.
It's an interesting one. I hate to interrupt you, but just it's an interesting one that's just flown by here. Stephen Guilbeault, your reaction to his victory, that's actually a Liberal gain.
Look, I just want to go back to the pipeline, even though Mr. Guilbeault has made some comments and quite strident comments about the pipeline. Justin Trudeau bought a pipeline. He invested and gave up, used up a lot of political capital when he bought that
you know what's the
pipeline.
problem with
I
the
have
pipeline
every
right now?
confidence that that pipeline
Justin
gets
Trudeau,
built.
he bought this pipeline, right? Not a bad idea. I mean, not the best for the environment, not gonna lie. But at the same time, you have to think about, like, we do need a pipeline to transport oil because right now we use gasoline cars.
Yeah.
That's the sad truth, but that's how it is. We can't switch to electric tomorrow because that's going to be too expensive. The pipeline is not a bad idea, but the problem is the stupid premier in BC, he's a conservative. And because a liberal bought a pipeline, he's not going to allow him to use it. Yeah, because it's in his province. That's the problem with the pipeline right now, Mom. Justin Trudeau, he bought this pipeline. He was planning on using it and making some money for the economy, right? But now he can't use it because the stupid premier in BC won't allow him to. That's the problem, Mom.
That is what leadership is about. And he made a promise.
I think it's kind of selfish. If you already bought the
I need
pipeline,
one more
it's
drink.
already done.
Give me one more drink.
I live there and I work there.
Give me one more drink.
Anyway, that's the problem with the pipeline right now, Mummy.
Okay.
And now the winter is coming, so they can't really do anything about it now. But wait until the spring and they'll figure something out.
I feel like we're in question period right here. I love it. The different sides of the house. It's fascinating to hear what one candidate, one new member.
Watch this candidate because he will be
And
trouble.
Mr. Trudeau is going to have to manage him. But that's one of the indicia of leadership.
But hang on, just so people get the sense
Hang
that we're
on.
going through a lot of names here. Here's a guy that has a long history as an environmentalist, studies on climate protection. He is
Oh, that's
the
feel
only one to
better.
stand up, and he was a star candidate, and he said, I am totally opposed to the Trans Mountain Pipeline. Now, why were they trotting this guy out, Lisa? Because it gave progressives a license to vote for Liberal and still not like the Trans Mountain. But he could have future trouble.
What you're seeing right now, okay, Paul Manley re-elected for the Greens and Nanaimo Ladysmith, but I wanted to just bring you back to Esquimalt because that's a loss. The NDP gained that, and I think the Greens had their eye on that one. So that is actually here.
No, that's a hold for Randall Garrison. That's a hold
I
for
think the Greens thought they might be able to.
That's right. Yeah, they did.
It was a good, strong victory.
They thought David Murno could take it, but Randall Garrison's a very well-respected NDP MP. But I think Antonia said a great comment, and I'll ask you to repeat about Stephen Guilbeault. The Liberals have just gotten through Jody Wilson-Raybould and Jake
Can I move the
And if Stephen Guilbeault comes in and says,
table
"Well,
a
against the
little bit?
pipeline, they have
Okay,
no
I got it.
representation in Alberta," Antonia,
And I was there the night of his nomination. So was Justin Trudeau. And into the microphones in front of Mr. Trudeau, he said he was opposed to the pipeline.
I mean, I want to go. I want to go actually, if we can, just because there's so many storylines. The pipeline is one of them, but also we've got to go to Kenora now. Beth McDonnell is there with Chief Rudy Turtle.
I really
Beth,
like
give us a
Lisa.
sense of what's happening
she's
in
very
that
good.
riding and
Professional.
and how the chief has done tonight.
Well, at first it looked like a two-way race between the Liberal incumbent and the NDP. The Liberals took this seat last time by just 500 votes, but it's turned into a three-way race. Even now the Conservatives appear to be leading here. So I'm with Chief. What do you make of the results so far? A Liberal minority and a Conservative in the lead here.
Well, I am really kind of surprised, but at the same time, it is a
Green
change.
party most
for
is
the
a
Northern
woman,
area,
eh,
and,
Kamel?
and that's
Look
one
like
thing I
it.
heard on
No, Mom, there's a lot of men who are in the Green Party. It's just they were never elected. That's the problem.
But most is women want it, right?
Yeah, that's the only
So
thing.
Okay.
that's,
I mean, there's
that's
many
what the
men in the
people
Green
wanted.
Party.
And as
It's
far
just they
as
don't
the
win. That's
minority
the problem.
government,
Okay.
I think we'll still be able to work with them, especially with the concerns of my First Nation.
Yes, I know that safe drinking water and getting a mercury treatment plant for your community is one of the top priorities. Do you see that coming together with the way the seats are looking at the moment, where this government is coming together?
Yes, definitely. I believe I heard Trudeau say in the leaders' debate, in the English leaders' debate, he said that no money was no objection to building the treatment center in Grassy Narrows. So I'm going to follow up on his words, and I believe that that they will move on Grassy Narrows.
Whatever happens tonight, can you talk about having First Nation leadership in Ottawa? How important is that, regardless of what happens tonight? Where do we stand now?
Well, it's very important. I believe that we need First Nation voices in Ottawa. I know there are people who don't believe in the system. They say it's a colonial system, but we do need people there to speak for us, and to me that's very important.
Right. Thank you
That
very much.
accent
The
is
race is
very
not over here
familiar,
yet.
Kamel.
Back to you, Lisa.
All right, Beth, thank
Familiar.
you so much. So interesting to speak to the chief there in Grassy Narrows. Such a,
The
again,
chief.
another one of those
Yeah, in
stories
Grassy
that has
Narrows,
just
Mom.
Where
really
from?
galvanized
Indigenous
for
tribe, it's in
Canadians,
BC,
Zane,
Mom.
and yet.
Oh, I see.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess the Trudeau
because the
government has set
accent
how
telling
many
Yeah,
me.
it's a
80
group,
some
yeah,
odd
Mom.
drinking water advisories. They're now down to 56.
Yeah, and I mean, the memorable moment was the Jagmeet Singh moment, if we recall this one, when a reporter asked him a question around clean drinking water, and he said, would you be asking this question if this was one of our urban municipalities in this country? Really made that punctuating point. And if we go back to Trudeau for a second, I think a unifying thesis we're seeing tonight is that he's going to need the sharpest political skills he's ever had going forward, because the headwinds within, the headwinds coming from outside, stitching together, issue by issue basis.
Well, one of the headwinds might be coming now from within his own party. We're going to go back to Geneviève Beauchemin, who is with Stéphane Guilbeault right now. Geneviève.
Yeah, I heard you ask all those questions about Mr. Guilbeault. So first of all, just, in your writing, it was going to be a tight race. How do you feel about the result tonight?
The results actually really reflect the numbers we were seeing after talking to more than 12,000 people over the last few weeks. I was somewhat skeptical of some of the numbers we were seeing in some polls.
Oh, the same guy
'cause our
talk
numbers
speaking
showed a very
then now,
different picture, and
Kamel.
what we saw tonight was a
Yeah.
reflection of that.
Oh, he won. That's the reason. They talked to him, right?
Yeah, Mom. When you win, they normally interview you.
Oh, yeah,
They
I
have the time for you. Or if you're important, they'll interview you. Just like the Olympics guy and Jenica, they're important. That's why they're interviewed.
What I want to do is work
And even if you
really hard
lose,
so that
they
we can
interview
go
you
even
sometimes. Like
further,
Maxime
faster in the
Bernier,
fight
the
against
guy who
climate
was on the
change, to protect our
on there
environment.
for
That's
9 years,
what I've said
9
since the
terms.
first day I announced I was running with the Liberal Party of Canada.
Sleepy.
How is that going to work, though? How do you... There's so many questions that are going to be asked about your personal position as opposed to the position of the party. Will that be difficult to reconcile? How do you do that?
I don't think it will be. I mean, when I looked at everything that the Liberal government has done in the last 4 years to protect our environment, to fight climate change, even the pipeline, if for $1 invested in the pipeline, $15 were invested in the fight against climate change. In Quebec, $5 billion, a record level investment for transit. We haven't seen so
I'll
much
stay
investment
until
in the
finish.
transit system
You
in
should
Quebec
go to bed.
since we built
Oh,
the
you do
subway
your
system
nail
50
do.
years ago.
Give me a
We could
minute.
talk
Let me
about
finish
green
my nails
infrastructure.
and
We
then
could
I'll
talk
go to
about
bed.
electrification of our
Okay, look.
transportation system.
It's a
putting
good
a price
idea.
on
Do at
pollution.
night. I should
So
do the
there's
same.
a lot of things that were very
Can I
easy
do
for
two?
me to
Look.
rally
That's
around,
your last
despite
Give me one.
despite
Give
the
me
fact
one.
that I have one difficulty with one project.
Mommy, wait until I'm done with the glue, okay?
No, no. Give me the sand.
30 years.
I'll sand
very
waiting
grateful
while.
to the
Nail
people of
files,
Vallée Sainte-Marie.
Yeah.
That they
Nail
decided to
file
choose
or
me
whatever
as
they're
their
called.
representative to Parliament. I'm going to work really hard to
Think I'll do
show
the
that
nail
I've
too
earned their trust and that I'm going to be a good representative for them.
A good idea, Kamel. Forget all about my
Geneviève,
nail.
thank you. I'm sorry I missed the last thing you were saying because Anne and Tom are still back and forthing on what is the definition of leadership. He clearly just said there you know, that's the pipeline is a done project. I'm not going to rewrite history.
But never
He
again.
just won a job in cabinet. That's what it's all about. He has just learned the joys of being a cabinet minister. You have a car now.
Oh, look at his note, Kamel. Look.
Very pointy. Square. Square nose. Flat.
Oh, wow. That's different.
Very different nose. Did he get plastic surgery?
For the Liberals.
Something wrong with it.
There's sometimes you get
This
plastic
elephant
surgery.
is pretty, yeah.
Is with
She has
Jane
a nice
Philpott,
nose.
so we'll get some personal reaction to what has been a very tough fight in Markham Stouffville. Michelle.
Lisa, Jane Philpott defeated in the riding of
Oh,
Markham
the
Stouffville
lady,
tonight.
yeah,
Voters here not sending you back to Ottawa for another term. You've been very emotional tonight. How are you feeling with the result?
She lost.
Well, I'm feeling very grateful for my
She's the
incredible
one
team
who
of
leaked all the
volunteers. We
information.
have had an
Independent
extraordinarily
candidate, Ontario.
Yeah,
What it mean?
Mommy, she's one of the Jody Wilson Raybould and Jane Philpott. These are the two ladies who leaked all the information.
An independent
What did-
campaign
She
that
used to
has
be
helped
on the
people to
Liberal government,
imagine
Mum.
Oh,
And then Justin Trudeau kicked her and Jody Rayson Wilbald out of the party because they leaked top secret information from the government.
okay.
So now she's running as an independent, all alone. She has no party. And she ran and she lost.
You had to tell people, hey, stop donating. But
Because
why do you
it's
think
not
your
good
message of
reputation
change
already.
Yeah, it's not a good
resonates?
reputation, but she still wanted to run.
Yeah, I know.
In this area
But
in
that's not a
particular
good
are used
reputation.
to
Yeah,
voting
I
for
know.
parties. They've always
That's
voted
why
for
you
particular
That's why you try to build your trust, your confidence,
That was not a good idea.
your reputation in the good way.
Yeah, but now she does not have a good reputation. Same thing with Jody Wilson Raybould. She tried to run again as an independent, but she lost.
There's gonna be a lot of people accusing her, right?
Yeah, it's not
And
good for her
it's not
reputation.
good. It's the reputation is very important.
to say we can be doing politics better.
Whatever you're doing, Kamel, reputation is
You
good.
read headlines in Canada. Is what is next for you? Will you run again? Will you stay in politics?
Well, tomorrow is another day. We'll see. I will continue to serve Canadians. That's what I've done all my adult life. And I'll look forward to seeing what that's
Oh,
going to look like in the
wow.
future.
And how about Jody Wilson-Raybould? You guys were a pair in this. What do you think about so far the
Wow.
result tonight?
Well, it's looking very good that Jody Wilson-Raybould is going to be re-elected in Vancouver-Granville. That's fantastic
Oh,
news
she's
for
not gonna be
Canadians.
re-elected.
She's an incredibly wise
Oh
and
no,
hardworking
listen to me, Kamel.
parliamentarian. And
She
I
can
know
do
that she'll
all
serve
a
Canadians
thousand
well.
things
I'm
in
thrilled
to
for
have
her and for
people, look.
Canadians on her behalf.
It doesn't mean she's gonna get in the same
Congratulations on the
before
campaign.
Kamel.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, Michelle, thanks so
You have
much
a chance to
you
do a
and
lot of
Jane
good things
Philpott
for
that.
people. Look.
Vancouver Granville, she's absolutely correct. Jody Wilson-Raybould is now in the head. However, it's too soon for us to declare it because there are still 15,000 advance votes still uncounted. So we
15,000.
Melanie Nagy,
Yeah, Mom,
you were there
advance
at that
votes,
riding.
Mom.
Can you give
Oh,
us a
okay.
sense
Because people
of
vote
how
ahead of
she's
time.
optimism
Yeah.
And they have to
or more
add
than
that at the end.
or what's
And
happening?
that makes a real difference.
Yeah, I have to tell you, in the last even 20
After
minutes
all
here,
the
mood
votes
is
are
shifting.
counted
It was
and we're
pretty
100%
subdued
sure who
earlier
won,
when it appeared
that's
that
when
Jody
Justin Trudeau
Wilson-Raybould
will
was
come out and do
trailing
his speech
behind,
and
but
Andrew
now with the
Scheer.
numbers shifting in her favor, like you said, though still too early due to all those votes that need to be counted, but people have been cheering. The crowds are starting to pick up in here. The people that are going to be here tonight, they are devoted to Jody Wilson-Raybould. These are the people that volunteered for her, that campaigned for her. Some of them volunteering for the first time in a federal election, and all of them saying they were inspired by her, the way she handled the SNC-Lavalin affair. So this is a crowd that is waiting for Jody Wilson-Raybould. We're told
If
she's
people
going to show
here
up
can
here
stay
in
all
about
night long, we
30
can do
minutes,
too, Kamel.
and they're ready to greet her.
They
This was
party
always
all
going
night
to
waiting
be
for the
a riding
election
where people were
results.
going to decide
Yeah.
whether they're going
Take a
to
day off
back
tomorrow.
the parties.
I'm not going to take a day off,
The
but
person, because as we
Gonna
know,
be
she
tough
is an
day.
independent,
it's
but
okay.
unlike
It's not
can
going to
get-
be tough. I'll just get some coffee in the morning. and
You
then
can
we'll
come
go.
home early, look, okay? Go early, get coffee and
So people here, they seem
I
be
just have to
gearing
go
up
and
for
take
a
my
party,
picture and then go to
we'll
my
just
meeting
wait
at
to see if they're
10:30.
gonna be
That's
continuing
really all I have to do
celebrating tonight.
tomorrow.
Okay, thanks so much, Mel. We will definitely come back to you there in Vancouver Granville when that party starts. If Jody Wilson-Raybould wins and steps up at that podium,
Mommy, I don't care, honestly.
To our truth
As long as I get to my
team
picture
who
in the
all
morning,
night
I'll
long
be
have been
okay.
monitoring things
Like,
unfolding.
an election only happens
Richard,
one
give us a
time
sense
every
as where
4
the story
years, so
really
it's
is
not going to
moved
kill me
west,
if I
what
miss
you're
a little bit
hearing.
of time.
Yeah, we sure has, Lisa, and we're seeing simmering backlash online targeting Western Canadian voters, all reacting to that Ontario-dominated Liberal minority and the surge of the Bloc Québécois. Now, we've all heard
Yeah,
of Brexit,
Ontario.
and now on Twitter,
They all like
we're seeing the
liberals now
hashtag
because they're
Wexit
sick of Doug
trending.
Ford.
Now, you may
That's why Ontario is all red.
No.
It's because they voted Doug Ford in and then they regret it.
From the West
That's what happened.
yeah. We saw lots of anger during the
I heard
campaign
about
for
it,
Western
but I
Canadians,
don't know what.
frustrated by the demonizing
And they
of
don't want to
pipelines
make the
and
same
many
mistake
challenges
again.
surrounding
What
Alberta's
two of them
very
was his
important
name?
energy
The Ford
sector. They say
family, what
they took a
something?
back seat. So as you
There
can
was
see here
Rob
tonight,
Ford,
Lisa,
you know,
Western
a
alienation may be
drug
back on the
addict.
front burner.
Yeah,
He passed
And
away.
the difference 4 years makes when Justin Trudeau was first swept into office with a message of unity, but tonight he's returning to lead a nation more bitter and divided.
Wow, that's all right. Richard Madden, thanks so much for that. I want to give everybody some perspective on what's about to happen. So in about 7 minutes from now, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is going to step up. He will be the first, well, actually the second, because we've already heard from Yves-François Blanchet. But I want to get, Ronnie, your reaction.
Oh,
How
basically.
real
Oh,
is
in
that
7
Brexit
minutes,
and the
NDP leader
movement?
Jagmeet
We were
Singh
in
is going to do
Alberta,
his
and a
speech.
lot of people said,
Okay.
I want to watch that.
Wow.
It's
And
not-
they
Yeah,
already
the people
contact.
I spoke
Make the
to, they
plans
think
on
it's
it.
a serious
No,
thing that they really
NDP
believe
and
in
then
this. It's just
Conservative is going to
but you
talk,
tell
and then
me.
finally, when everything is counted,
They've already
Justin
held
Trudeau's going to
many
come and
meetings.
talk.
This is well before the results
The last
today.
minute,
We're
eh?
having
Yeah,
And
he's the last
everybody
because he won.
And there are
Happy
people that
ending and
cheer
go
for
to sleep. Have a good
very
sleep
And then they
tonight.
can wrap it up for
business
the night.
people in across Alberta that are
I'm
putting
going
money
to
into this.
have a
This is
good
before
sleep
we
When
can see
Justin
election
Trudeau is
results
done
today. There's
talking,
a
then
massive
I'll go to
disconnect
sleep.
between
Oh
these
yeah,
western
you
provinces
you
and
can
Ottawa.
be, you
And
can
now
do
with
it,
the
Camille.
results, and
Oh, my
it's going to
nails.
get worse.
Beautiful.
And
Now
so
let me
it
see.
used to
Look.
be the West wants in,
Show
the West now
camera.
wants out.
Show
And it's
camera
a
a little
serious
bit.
discussion.
See,
Is that going to
closer,
materialize?
so people can see the
Probably
night.
not. So the discussion
Make it
is
like,
what has to
oh
deal with
wow.
This is a massive issue for
You
national
say.
unity,
Now
having
look.
two provinces feeling this disconnected from our national, from the national debate.
I'm gonna do the same.
Breakdown, Craig, but we've got, so what?
I really
Largely
enjoyed this
liberal
election, though, to be
Ontario,
honest. I really enjoyed it because this is the first election, the first year where I feel like I'm smart enough to keep up with what's going on.
Yeah,
Before, I didn't know what the hell was going
more
on.
understanding.
To understand what was going on.
Because you're a big girl now.
No, and
right?
it's awesome because in my political science class, we talk about the federal election for an hour every single day.
But I think there,
I'm really
the one
happy
thing
with
that
the
I'm
Victor
grateful
Lickton.
for is he can do what the
She did awesome.
Trudeau's love to
Yeah.
do.
You know what
was
that
take
means?
on
Elizabeth
the
May is going to
separatists.
come here more
He
often,
can be
too.
the heroic
You think
leader
so?
of the
Oh, yeah,
federal
'cause they work
flag,
together,
and he
Mom.
can expect
Oh, I
his
think
Green Canada
she came
to
1
rally
year,
around
2
it.
years
Yeah, I know,
already.
but she
And
doesn't.
he's
She
good
has
at
a
this kind
reason
of
to
thing.
come now because she
and
has
he's
a
happy doing it,
representative.
and he believes it.
Mm.
So that'll give him a lot to do with that. But Jason Kenney is now going to have to decide if he wants that pipeline. Remember, the myth was
Jason
that
Kenney,
Trudeau
that's
stopped pipeline.
that's
He
the
didn't.
asshole
It
who
was
tells
the courts who
Trudeau
stopped
no,
the
you can't
pipeline
use the pipeline.
legitimately when people who wanted to stop it kept using the courts to delay it and kill it that way. So now Jason Kenney's going to have to cooperate with Trudeau. Is there a
That's just
Jason
me.
Kenney, Mom. That's the premier of British Columbia who says no, I don't want you to use the pipeline.
Oh.
He has to cooperate very soon.
Why? What's the reason? Because
Because he's a conservative, right? He hates everything liberals do, right?
and now he need to.
He needs to cooperate because the court is telling him he needs to. It's a waste of money, and it's bad for the environment if you don't use it either.
Okay, whatever. That's how it should
That's
be.
a sign of regionalism taking hold, and I don't know if Justin Trudeau's good at it because this election has shown balkanization.
You have to work with me now, right? That's what I
One of the
say.
things that is
And they have been before, and we survived.
I want to just go now to Edmonton. Matt Woodman is there. We have one orange freckle on the Edmonton, on the Alberta, Edmonton Strathcona. NDP elected Heather McPherson. So Matt, what's the reaction there?
Well, Heather McPherson is ecstatic tonight, Lisa. She's very excited to continue on Linda Duncan's proud moments of carrying the NDP name through Edmonton, Strathcona. In a way, it's almost surprising to say there is now an NDP stronghold in Alberta. As you mentioned, just that one tiny little island of orange amongst that sea of conservative blue here in Alberta. So Heather is ecstatic. This riding has been held by Linda Duncan since 2008.
But mommy, in the
She
future, the
held through 3
conservative is going
elections
to be
and now
very
Heather through a
unpopular.
fourth. So
It's
very
because
excited
young
tonight.
people now, they're going with NDP, they're going with liberal, you know, something a little bit more forward.
Yeah,
made the decision on the weekend that
young
they were going to
Canadian,
move,
that's what they.
And
that
that's
they
the
were
future,
going to
Mom.
be
In the future, conservative is not going to be
It
very
paid
popular. I know that for sure.
home riding
And
of
even
Premier
Bloc
Rachel
Québécois,
Lund,
they're
former
very
Premier
popular
Rachel
with
Lund.
young
And if
people,
you
especially
recall
in Quebec too.
disconnect with Jagmeet Singh, especially on energy and pipeline issues as we've been discussing,
Young people
ultimately led
and
her to a
older
very
people,
roundabout way to
they're
come out and say,
different
I'm
ways of
supporting
thinking.
my local NDP candidate. My differences with Jagmeet Singh still exist. And so that endorsement in the 10th hour for Heather McPherson really paying
Election.
dividends.
Here's the Alberta breakdown now,
Oh,
just so we can
wow.
see it in all on one
Alberta,
page.
Camille.
Alberta, you see,
Wow.
it's all conservative.
Where
Everyone-
liberal didn't get anything.
Because I told you, Mom, Alberta's conservative. It's out in the prairies, Mom.
The whole.
Whole thing. Alberta and Manitoba, those are the two ones.
Wow.
Saskatchewan, there's not too many.
Yeah.
Municipally, Calgary and
Cut
Edmonton
for
are so
look
much
for.
more diverse. but
Listen,
federally,
in Quebec,
this is
in
the
Ontario,
blue
Atlantic
stronghold again.
provinces, BC,
Look at all
very
these
popular
Minister
with
Stoney
liberals.
gone, Ken
Nunavut,
Hare, who
popular
had
with
his own
liberals.
Oh,
issues,
on
he's
the
gone.
But
over
like
there.
not in
Reginald,
Manitoba
former
or
Rhodes Scholar, was
Saskatchewan.
right
They're
there.
very,
You know,
very
so there's
religious
a lot-
people,
the
Mom.
Liberals,
Very conservative.
They had that moment of hope in that red wave in 2015, and could Justin Trudeau keep that and repair the damage that his father had done? And looks like tonight the
But
answer
that's the
is
same
no.
story in Quebec, right?
Yes.
In 2015, it was about bringing the Liberals back to Quebec for the first time across Francophone Quebec as well. First time since Pierre Trudeau had done that, and then, in effect, lost it. But we see the same thing happening. So it's not working. So where does it go then, Lloyd, from here?
This is Justin Trudeau's hour right now. I mean, he's either going to make it or not. And what he's got to do is stop thinking of himself and the people around him as the smartest ones in the room. He's got to reach out to the Liberal veterans of past years, ask for their advice, get them on board. He's got to open that up because he hasn't shown anything. What we're seeing tonight, the reason for this result is because we didn't see any real leadership in this campaign. We didn't see it from Justin Trudeau, and we didn't see it from Andrew Scheer. Now, the nicest guy in the campaign was judged to be Jagmeet Singh, okay, but, you know, he's got the number of votes, but he doesn't get the number of votes he wanted, actually, sitting at 25. So I think it's a matter of Justin Trudeau coming on board and stepping up to the plate and trying to, like his father,
He also has
back
to
in those
rebuild
days.
the
I think that
because
that's
he became
that's
the party.
that's I
and
agree
the
with
party
that.
shriveled up.
Very
He
true.
Justin Trudeau, he has
needs
to try something
rebuild
new
it.
because
Bring
the
in
country is
experienced
very,
people.
very split
Bring
right
in
now.
new young
Half of
people.
it is conservative,
they've
and half
gone
is
from a
liberal.
majority
He needs to try something new to make everyone
to a
happy. He
minority
can't
of
do the same damn thing
156
he's been
at
doing
this moment.
before.
Of course, it's not all complete,
But
but
it's
we're going
okay,
to
I'll
look
give
at the
him a
vote
chance,
efficiency
right?
right now. And Omar Sachedina, give us a better perspective, if you can,
That
on
is
how
so
things
special. You
played
got
out.
to term of the
His father had three
Okay,
terms.
we're going to
Three
get back to
terms.
Omar.
His father
Anne,
served
do you wanna
15 years
defend
in
your
3
party,
Wow,
or-
that's awesome.
15
Floyd
years.
and Craig and
That's his
their,
father.
you know,
His father had 3, now he has 2.
Well, he did call you to do the report on whether or not Attorney General and Justice Minister should be
Wow.
two separate positions, and your report came back saying no, it's just fine leaving them. A lot of people.
No, I didn't say it was just fine.
Okay.
And that's an issue for another day.
Really?
Really, Lisa LaFon, she make a lot of fun out of the show. That's what I like how
Lisa LaFlamme is a good host.
professional talking together, right?
Classy, right?
Yeah. When I'm listening, I have a lot of fun with it.
Western Canada and people in
The way
communities
how
in
they
Western
talk, the
Canada.
way how
But at
they
the end of the day,
reacting.
You know what, Mom? Honestly,
his moment. To your
being
point,
being a kid from
And,
Fredericton, New Brunswick, I feel very separated from
has to step up.
politics
I
that
think
happen in
he
Ottawa,
knows
that
he
happen in
has to step
Ontario.
up.
That's why I want to move.
I can't
Like, I wanna
predict
just
what the
see something
future
new.
will be.
Oh, that's all right.
I feel very
I
separated
mean,
from
if I were
politics.
Mr. Trudeau,
I feel like
I would say,
I'm in another
looking
part
at
of the
this,
world. Like I don't
this
really
is a
have much of a
humbling
say in what's
experience
going on.
tonight for me.
You just say only 17, Kamel. So stop it.
One of the things
I
I
just feel a
learned
disconnect
is
from the
that there are
politics.
people who feel
You don't need,
disenfranchised
when
and
you get in
unheard
so
in
much,
this
you're gonna
country.
learn better,
And
look.
that has to change.
I know, Mom, and
Give
you're right about
yourself
that.
little
But I have
time.
to experience it for myself.
You need to get little time. You're still young, Kamel.
I mean, he's got 156 seats, but Canada has said to Justin Trudeau, we're going to chastise you, and you need a political chaperone, and that's what a strong minority is. And the question is, what does that political chaperoning mean to change what the Liberals will do? But it's
Yeah, that's
hardly
true.
a
I
total
agree with that.
collapse, but it's definitely
Agree with what?
They're saying now, Mom,
very strong
Justin
message.
Trudeau, we're giving you the opportunity to lead again, but now you need to change the ways you've been doing things before and try something new. Because there's many people that are against you and you have to satisfy them.
Yeah.
Because you cannot lead this and go on the same way you did before.
Seriously,
You have to do
you're
something
saying
new.
he needs to change. He needs to change. He's had 4
He's saying he
years
needs to
governing
change.
They
one
give
way,
him a
leading
chance,
one
eh?
way.
Yeah, they're giving
It's
him a
time
chance now
for
because he's
Justin
already
Trudeau
elected.
to change.
I think he and the people around him need to listen more.
Oh, look,
They
look,
don't
that
need to
party
tell
now.
people what people should do or believe. They need to listen more and take on
In
board
where?
the fact that there are people in this country who believe
Oh, that's on Jagmeet Singh's headquarters.
Ah. Oh, they're gonna talk.
Oh, he's gonna come out and talk.
They're speaking now.
And some of them,
I really like him though. Like he did awesome.
in Jagmeet Singh, here
They
is
got lots of
Stephen
seed, eh?
Jagmeet Singh arriving
Number 3.
in his headquarters there in Burnaby. A very happy man tonight. It's been
Yeah,
by
he did
all
awesome.
accounts
I'm happy.
successful campaign. Tom, would you agree? He exceeded. Well, no, he exceeded expectations. Can we say that?
How he come so happy because he got more than he expect, right?
Yeah, and Mom, it's only his first election, right?
Oh, I see.
Justin Trudeau, he ran one time before. Before he became prime minister, and he didn't make it because he was just learning how to do things, right? He didn't quite know himself.
This guy, he's the first time doing it.
Yeah, it's his first time. He was just elected a
Yellow,
year ago, Mom.
yellow hijab.
Next time he runs, he's going to be even better.
They're dancing.
Same thing with Maxime Bernier. Okay.
Oh wow, people supporting him.
The people that support him very strongly. I really like him.
That's why he's so, wow, look, you dancing! Happy dance!
Yeah, I gotta say, that is the first live shot we're seeing, Molly, and maybe you would all agree with me, that looks like a real successful campaign headquarters, and it's fourth place.
Look at the numbers too. I mean, he's going to lose 19 or 20 seats from what they gained in 2015.
He expected
doubled, Mom.
Oh.
He doubled the amount of seats that they got in 2015 from Thomas Mulcair. And Tom Mulcair is just kind of upset because he's doing better than him. That's why he's kind of mad.
Okay, look, the young people talking.
Because when he was elected and replaced by Tom Mulcair's replacement, he was very mad about it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, they like it, yeah. His wife very young, eh?
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Look, yeah, pretty, but look very young, like 19, 20. Look like
I
it.
don't think she's 19 or 20. She just looks young.
What that is?
Judgment.
That means judgment. That is a great party here.
Thank you very much,
And
my
he plays
friends. Thank you
awesome.
so much. Oh man, the love is real. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate the love. Merci infiniment pour votre présence, votre
Your presence,
implication,
for your involvement, and it's an honor really to be here among you.
That's missing.
Thank you for everything you did.
And his
Thank
French
you.
is
ขอบคุณทุกๆอย่างนะคะทำง่ายๆ แต่พูดเป็นภาษาฝรั่งเศส
Friends, before I go any further, I want to acknowledge the traditional territories that we're gathered upon.
Thank you. He's acknowledging the indigenous land that they're on. It's
The
awesome.
unceded Coast Salish territories of the Squamish,
the Tsleil-Waututh, the Musqueam, the Kwikwekum, the First Nations.
Oh.
It's because we took land from them, right? So the respectful thing to do when you're on their land is to just say, this was
It's been
their
an incredible
land.
campaign, an incredible journey, and it is such an amazing honor to be home here in British Columbia with all of you. I also want to take a moment to congratulate Mr. Trudeau and the Liberal Party for the evening's results. I want to congratulate them, the new Prime Minister.
Oh, he says congratulations to Justin Trudeau. That's nice.
And I spoke with Mr. Trudeau, the Prime Minister, earlier tonight, and I let him know that we'll be working hard on making sure we deliver the
I think
priorities
he's gonna
that
come by
Canadians
with
have
the
and all of you have.
Yeah, he's gonna come by.
Oh, wow! Good job.
We're
He
gonna
spoke
make
with
sure
him tonight.
that the energy that we built over this campaign, the excitement that we built, and the focus that we put on people's struggles continues, and so that we can play a constructive and positive role in the new parliament that Canadians have chosen. I want you to know, this is always going to be our focus. When we get back to Ottawa, every single day that we're in Parliament, New Democrats are going to be working hard to make sure your life is better, so that Canadians' life is better, so that people's life is better. I also want to congratulate the other leaders, the parties, Mr. Scheer, Ms. May, and Mr. Blanchet.
And what about Maxime? Hey!
And Trudeau.
I want to congratulate anyone who allowed their name to stand for any party. It's a tough thing to do, and I want to thank you all. I gotta tell you, I'm really proud to have been able to lead a team that is the most diverse, that represented women, that represented LGBTQ. This team was one of the most caring and the most diverse team that we've been able to run, and I'm so honored to be able to lead that team. And I want to thank the tens of thousands of volunteers that came out to support our campaigns and our teams across this country. There are far too many people for me to name. I'm sure you can imagine that. But I'm just going to name just a couple. First off, someone who's been beside me, by my side throughout this journey, throughout this adventure. My wife, my life partner, Krikitten.
You don't kid or kid.
She stole the show. She stole the show once already. I would love for her to steal the show again. I also want to thank my family, my brother, my mom and dad, my sister, everyone who's been such a big support to me throughout my life, my friends, and my team in Ottawa, my team here in BC, my team across the country. Thank you so much. Now again, there's far too many people for me to name, but if I can just name two people that can represent the entire team that I have, it's hard to do that, but there's two people I think you wouldn't mind if I recognize. They don't know I'm doing this, but I want to recognize two
Number
people.
3 is gonna be green, right, Kamel?
That were
Speaking
integral to
out,
this
right?
campaign.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
proud to say they're
probably.
women. It's something that's really
Independent is
powerful in
one.
our party.
Oh, that's Jody Wilson Raybould, mom.
She's the one who got it.
Yeah, she. But the problem with having someone who's
campaign
independent, they don't have
director,
much to
Jennifer
say in
Howard.
Parliament. Because you're not with a party to help support you, right? You're alone. That's the problem. So she might want to join with like Green or
And
someone,
my
you know,
national director,
or
Melissa
like
Bruno.
NDP or join with another party. That's the best thing for her to do.
Two of the most powerful positions in our party were young, or not young, well kind of youngish. Young, powerful women. Let's just say they're powerful women.
Say again. Young.
Either Melissa or Jennifer are going to get really mad at me over that one. Both. I also want to thank the incredible people of Burnaby South for re-electing me, giving me the honor.
That's fun.
I'm humbled that you put your trust in me. Thank you. And I'm going to continue to work incredibly hard for you, to work with you, to work for you. Thank you.
How they can do the just so Thai like that, eh?
Well, she does it for him.
You know?
I gotta tell you, I've met throughout this campaign some incredible
In
people.
his advertisement, because in Quebec they ban hijabs, right? In his advertisement, he took his hijab off because some people are afraid what's underneath. He just shows
inspire
people
the work that we do as New Democrats. And one of those people is a young man, a young boy, barely 10 years old, who lives
It's
with a chronic
kind of
illness.
art,
And
some
told me that he
kind of
wasn't
art.
worried about
I
the
think
chronic
like a
illness,
milk.
wasn't worried about the
It's
medication and the
nothing to
injections,
worry
wasn't
about
worried
it.
about
That
the
an
fact
art,
that if he didn't stay up on top of his medication or his blood work, he might die. He told me he wasn't worried about any of that. He was just worried
How
that
they
his medication
clean the beer
was
all the
costing a lot
time
to
like
his
that.
mom and
Lots
dad.
of
He
beer.
worried about being a burden to his family. I remember that young man. I remember that young man and the fact that someone as young as that felt like he was a burden in a country as rich as ours, and that's a part of the reason why we're fighting. We're fighting for that young man. I also want to talk about Grassy Narrows, a community that represents the injustice historically and ongoing that Indigenous people continue to face. There are people of Grassy Narrows who are so resilient in the face of neglect and negligence and being ignored, being told they don't matter, being ridiculed. We brought the national campaign to Grassy Narrows to let them know that they do matter, that they are worthy.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for Trudeau at this point.
Only some more, look.
And that Indigenous
No, we need to go to
reconciliation is
Green and
sometimes
we
as
need
simple
to
as basic
Conservatives
respect
and then
and
Jody
dignity for the
Wilson
first people
Raybould.
of this land, and that
And they're
means
gonna
clean drinking water.
No, I'm not gonna
That
miss his speech, Mom.
That means not taking Indigenous kids to court.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about what Justin
That
Trudeau
means
is
equal funding for child welfare, for education, and quality homes.
But Justin Trudeau, he raised the what is it, the Canada child benefit? He raised the money and he's going to raise it even more, Mom.
Give some more.
Yeah, he's going to give even more.
Tough times. They were cynical
He speaks very good
looking at
French, too.
politicians. They weren't convinced.
But Cheery
And he
does not
told me,
speak good French.
Everything
Not
looks
good.
like us. You look like us. You see us. And to the people of Quebec, I want to say thank you. Of course.
Évidemment,
Of course,
les résultats
the
ne
results
sont pas ceux que
are
nous
not
voulions,
those we wanted.
mais l'accueil que j'ai reçu
The
au
welcome
Québec
that I
m'a fait
received in
chaud au
Quebec
cœur.
was warm.
Ce premier
This
rendez-vous
first meeting,
électoral nous a permis de
electoral
mieux
meeting,
nous connaître.
enabled us to
J'ai eu la
meet
chance
with
de vous
each other. I
démontrer
had
Because the people in Quebec,
chance to
they
show
don't
you
like
that
him
we
because he
share
has
the
a
same values.
hijab, and that's really
And I am
stupid, honestly.
thankful for the
And they
support
judge him because
that
of that.
we have received
Mais ce
tonight.
n'est pas
But
été assez.
it wasn't
He
enough,
doesn't care. Look at
and we
him.
will
Come on.
continue to fight for you.
Yeah. fake leader
Oui, merci.
Mer-
Merci.
Merkel
Nous n'allons pas laisser tomber
Thank you.
le
We will
Québec.
not let drop Quebec. We will not let it go, but we will continue to be president. I will continue to be president in Quebec. I said that we will unite the progressive forces of Quebec and the rest of Canada, and together we can do it,
Merci
and we will do it.
Merci Merci
There you go, Mom. Good job.
Jack a commencé le travail.
Jack started the work.
Cabo
We
Saba
must continue it because
J'ai
the
voté
progressives-
Liberal.
Liberal
That means I voted
we are the
liberal.
progressists.
Oh I forget the word already
J'ai voté liberal.
J'ai voté Liberal
It's
Let's
called
not
La
stop
Partie
there.
Libérale du Canada. That's what it's called.
Le
The
Parti
Liberal
in
Party of
Canada
Canada. La Partie
La Party Liberal
du Canada.
Du Canada
From Canadians who are struggling.
Good job, Mom. Speak
And
French.
just want to build a community who are finding it harder and harder to do so.
Mm.
And to those Canadians, I want to say to you this tonight. You Democrats are going to Ottawa to fight for you.
Yeah woohoo
No, he's gonna work with Justin Trudeau. He was talking with him on the phone tonight. They're gonna work together, right? And this is a good guy for Justin Trudeau to work with.
And friends, in the days ahead, I'll be meeting my new caucus, and we're going to sit together and talk and discuss about how we can deliver for the people of this country.
Yeah Yeah woo
Because the real winner of this election is not a party or a leader. The real winner of any election should always be the people, and that means Canadians. And Canadians sent a pretty clear message. A clear message tonight that they want a government that works for them, not for the rich and the powerful, not for the well-connected. And if exactly. And if all MPs, you're right. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll talk about that. I'm sorry about that. And if all MPs elected tonight hear that message and act on that message, then the real winners of this election will be the people.
Yeah Hiraya คนที่ชนะคือประชาชน
Les Canadiens et Canadiennes ont envoyé un
Canadians
message clair.
have sent a clear message tonight. They want a government that works for them, not for the richer or the big multinationals, but for Canadians.
Et si tous les députés
And if all the MPs elected tonight are hearing this message and are acting consequently, the real winners of the election will be the people.
Yeah คนที่ชนะคือประชาชน
So I want to let you know, New Democrats are going to work hard to deliver the following results. We're going to work hard to make sure young people have a future that's filled with hope.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I'm glad liberals are elected. You know why? Because that means when I get student debt, I don't have to pay back until I make $35,000.
Yes
We want to
Now,
make sure that Canada
I'm
is
really
a
happy.
leader
Yeah.
in the
Good for you.
global
That's
fight
good for
against
me.
the climate
Oh,
crisis.
wow.
Because that means that helps my future. Because with the
4
damn
more years you
conservative
mean
government,
another 4 more years
after 4 years, after I'm done university, I don't have to pay it back until I make $35,000 a year or more. And if I don't make $35,000 a year, I never need to pay it back.
Okay that is a agreement date now
So I'm gonna be
And we
okay.
want a
In
Canada
other words.
that's a nation that takes reconciliation seriously.
Yeah that's the right person here
No, it's a good guy to work. He's a good person to work with Justin Trudeau. Together they'll be
And
good
you know
together.
this with New Democrats, for us, reconciliation is more than just a word.
You see,
It
we're talking about
requires
Indigenous
real
people,
action.
reconciliation.
Real action. So here's what New Democrats are going to seek to do when we work with other parties to achieve. These are our commitments.
He
These are the
really
things
want
that
to
we want to
get in
continue to
a
fight for.
liberal rate now.
If you
Right?
need medication
That's
in our
what he
country,
mean.
we want to make sure you use your health card, not your credit card.
Hey! Woohoo! Got it.
That means a national, publicly delivered, single-payer pharmacare for all.
Hey! Woohoo!
No, you know what pharmacare is, Mom?
Yeah, it's a prescription. Pharmacare. Right? Prescription.
Wait. Is he
We
still
want to
doing
help
dental care?
Canadians be able to get a home that they can
Oh, he's not doing
afford.
dental care anymore. Before he said, I'm going to make sure you go to the dentist for free, but that's not happening anymore. Because he talked to Justin Trudeau, and Justin Trudeau said, no, don't do that.
It's not a tax cut for the
Oh, he
richest
changes his
Canadians,
plans a little bit.
but
Okay.
tackling student debt by waiving all interest on student loans.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, that's good for me, because then I don't have to pay interest, too.
Yeah.
I appreciate
ไม่ต้อง
that.
นักเรียนstudent นะคะนัก
Listen, I'm so thankful that
นักศึกษาก็ไม่ต้องจ่ายจนกว่าเขาจะทำเงินได้เกิน 35,000 แล้วก็จะไม่มีการเสียinterest นี่คืออะไร ดอกเบี้ยนะคะ
Real and urgent action to fight the climate crisis, which includes ending fossil fuel subsidies
โอเค
and reinvesting in clean renewable energy.
That's what he really want to do, right?
And to make sure, absolutely, we're going to invest in housing. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to do that.
Invest housing.
And we're also going to make sure, we're going to do something that no one else is ready to say, but we're proud to say. We're going to say it again and again because we're going to get it done. We're going to make sure that the super wealthy start paying their fair share.
Yeah! Woohoo! Woohoo!
Not a bad speech, but he's saying the same
So
thing.
nice, yeah. Wow! What does he?
We're on it.
What does you?
Tax the rich.
Huh?
Tax the rich.
Tax the rich. That's what they say. Tax the rich. Tax the rich. Give to the poor.
My friends, that's exactly what we're going to do.
You can say for you.
These are the priorities of people. These are the priorities of people that New Democrats will put at the heart of the conversations that we're going to have in the days and weeks to come.
Okay, that of course, Jagmeet Singh in fourth place, down to 25 seats in the House of Commons. We can also tell you that Sven Robinson
Who are they now? He led. His daughter still up.
Here walking into what is it, the Everett Palace?
You have a little one also cute.
With one of his 5 children in his arms there, and Glenn, you are there. Give us a sense of the room. For
Still not
Andrew
sleeping
Scheer.
yet. The little one.
Everybody's awake.
Okay, Glenn obviously can't hear me. It might be the sound of the music, but we listened
Look at daughter,
to
it's so cute.
Jagmeet Singh. Evan, your reaction to that? It sounded like a victory speech for a man who's in fourth place.
I mean, it was a remarkable
He
rebranding of a big loss.
lighter.
And, you know, look, he lost half his seats. He drops to fourth place.
Stephen
He looks like he's
Harper.
declared victory.
That's
And
what
he
I
did in the
buy
sense that
about.
he's the balance of power potentially.
It's
but he
cute
should
though, I
crack
must
the
admit.
whip
So cute, bring a son and
because
daughter.
the
Oh
last
wow!
the
4,
Bloc
5 of
surge,
them.
he's
Lot of
got no
kids.
coattails in Quebec. very little anywhere
Oh,
else.
he
And
sends
if a
most of
bloc
them to
don't
Catholic
leave,
schools
this
across
guy'll
the
be out of
country
job
most of the time.
because of
No, he talks about it in an interview. He says for only 2 months of the year his kids are home and the rest of the year they're away off in a Catholic school. I mean, I'm not going to judge him. Like, he can do whatever he wants with his kids.
Thank you very much for that very warm
He's not
welcome.
gonna
It is
attack today
always
anymore, I
so
don't
great
think.
to be back
No.
in Saskatchewan.
Hey! Not bad, you good. Deep Brucey.
Now, first and foremost, I want to thank the voters of Regina Capel for once again electing me as your member of parliament.
Oh, nice. Who down there, Camille?
Thank you to all the volunteers that worked hard in the campaign office and who knocked on doors. put
Yeah,
up signs.
everybody
Joan Billis,
working
thank you
hard
so much
for them.
running a campaign. Well, I was being the member of parliament for Regina Capel is an honor that I will never take for granted, and I will work hard every day to repay the trust that you have put in me. I also say thank you to
Justin
all
coming.
336
You see Sophia?
Conservative Party candidates
So
for
pretty.
your hard work during this
I really
campaign.
like the woman here. Wow. Woo.
And a
For the
special
girl,
note
yeah.
of congratulations for my two new colleagues here in Regina, Warren Stanley in Regina Louvain and Mike Cram in Regina, West Canada. And to everybody across the country who joined our conservative team over the last 40 days, whether you knocked on doors, put in lawn signs, made a donation. or
Okay, just so you know what you're seeing here, this is very unusual. Just as Andrew Scheer begins his speech,
Oh, they go up.
Justin Trudeau has started his. So we'll go to Montreal to listen in again.
Smart. He put his speech over Scheer's.
Before the next begins. That is
Oh,
not
yeah,
the
the
case.
palm,
So
look.
a nasty campaign now develops
Yeah.
into a nasty election night victory speech. Here we go.
That's how smart people
And they
doing
voted
it.
in favor of a progressive agenda and strong action on climate change.
Yeah! Woo-hoo! We got green.
I
We got
invite you,
liberal.
my friends. You are
We
sending
got
our Liberal
NDP.
team back to work, back to Ottawa with a clear mandate. We will make life more affordable. We will continue to fight climate change. We will get guns off our streets, and we will keep.
Gun.
They're gonna ban
investing
guns,
in
Mom. Ban
Canadians.
guns.
Oh!
There's no school shooting.
Got now off the
Les
street.
Canadiens nous ont confié la
Canadians have given us the responsibility
Oh, I
to
hate the
continue
translated.
to
I just want to
govern.
listen.
Yeah, I know.
But nothing of this would have been possible without the efforts and the sacrifices of many, many people. I have many people to thank, so of course I'll spend a lot of time on the phone in the coming days. But tonight there's a few people particularly that I want to thank. First,
Ma Sophie.
my
My
Sophie.
wife. My Sophie. My Sophie.
On a commencé cette
We started this adventure in
My
politics
Sophie.
together over 10 years ago because we believed in a better future, because we knew that it was worth it to fight for a stronger Canada and a more prosperous Canada. Sophie, I'm so thankful and so lucky to have you with me. Thank you.
It don't come up. What happened?
I love you.
Merci mon amour, je t'aime.
Thank you, my love.
À mes enfants,
To my children,
Xavier, Ella Grace, et
Xavier, Ella, Grace, and
tous les jours.
Adrienne,
It's better
every day.
together.
They're in bed
Yeah,
at this
Bill,
time,
he
but
talk about
every
it.
day you're inspiring me to do more and do better. And all that I do it for you and your generation.
Wow.
Vous me rappelez à
You
tous les
remind
jours
me every
de
day
prendre des instants pour
to
apprécier
take moments
la
to
vie qu'on vit
appreciate the
ensemble,
life that
la
we
chance
live
qu'on a,
together and the chance that we have. And that all the roles that I have to be your father
que je préfère.
is the one that I prefer. I love you so much.
And to the very best campaign team ever assembled in Canada, our incredible candidates, staff, and volunteers.
None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you for the early mornings and the late nights. You've sacrificed a lot, taking time away from your families and friends to move Canada forward.
Yay! Woohoo! That's it again,
Thank you enough, so instead I'll simply say this. You did it, my friends. Congratulations.
Woohoo!
To the leaders of the other parties and their families, thank you for being a part of this essential exercise in democracy.
They're
You
dancing.
have chosen to serve. Thank you for stepping up in this campaign and in this political life. Je dois bien sûr remercier
I must, of course, thank the people from Papineau.
Ah, his writing. At least he won his own town. Maxime Bernier didn't win his own town.
And Lucia, he's sad. So sad.
He looks very sad.
Sure, it's a big competition.
It's been over 10 years now that you are giving me your trust, and it is a great privilege for me to continue to represent you and to be always a strong voice for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can always count on you.
See, why his wife, Sophia. Why she doesn't come up?
And of course, to my fellow Canadians. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve you for these past 4 years, and tonight you're sending us back to work for you. We take this responsibility seriously, and we will work hard for you, for your families, and for your future. To those who voted for our party, thank you for putting your trust in our team. Thank you for having faith in us.
Yeah.
To move this country in the right direction.
Yes.
And to those who did not vote for us,
Bill,
know that we will work every single day for you. We will govern for everyone.
Yay!
Regardless of how you cast your ballot, ours is a team that will fight for all Canadians. Mes chers Québécois,
Dear Quebecers, I've heard your message tonight. You want to continue to go forth with us, but you also want to make sure that the voice of Quebec can be heard even more in Ottawa, and I give you my word, my team and I will be there for you.
the people of Quebec too.
And to Canadians in Alberta and Saskatchewan,
The
know that
Conservatives.
you are an essential part of our great country. I've heard your frustration,
The
and I want to be
Conservatives.
there to support you.
Yeah.
Let us all work hard to bring our country together.
Yay! Woohoo!
For the last 4 years, we did everything we can to improve the life of everyone, and that's what we will continue to do in the next few years. My friends, you are sending us to Ottawa with a clear mandate. Continue to make Canada go forward.
Yeah.
You have asked us to invest in Canadians, to reconcile with the Native people and make it a priority. And to show even more vision and ambition when we are fighting against the biggest challenge of our days, the climatic changes.
Thank you.
And it's exactly what we will do. We know that there's still a lot of work to do, but I can give you my word that we will continue what we've started.
They have party now.
Because Liberals know, as every Canadians know, that it's always possible to do better.
One of my favorite prime ministers, Wilfrid Laurier, often talked about patriotism and the unifying power of common goals and aspirations.
And I've thought about that a lot since getting into politics. In my conversations with Canadians right across the country, I've seen firsthand that there is so much more that unites us than divides us. Canadians expect us all to focus on our shared vision of a stronger Canada, and I intend to work hard to make that a reality. We all
I understand why
want
he
safer communities,
interrupted
a
him.
cleaner planet,
It's because
and a
Andrew
good
Scheer has
quality
treated
of
him
life.
like shit for
We
this
want
whole
this for
election.
ourselves,
you
for our
He's
neighbors,
accused
and for
him
our
of having a
kids and
teacher-student
grandkids.
relationship, like sexually
Yeah,
assaulting a
and
girl.
say, oh, boy,
He released all these blackface
all the
pictures.
dirt, just throw all the dirt on him. That's
And if we unite
it's a light turn
around
off,
these
turn on
common
out
goals,
there.
I
No,
know
turned off.
we can
I
achieve
can respect that.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Threw all the shit on him for
Who
all
gonna
that-
be a leader
In the
be
years
like that,
ahead,
Camille?
our team will work hard to build on the progress made by the Canadians who
I
came
know.
before us. We will
When I
champion
listening
Canada
they talk
in
on the
all its
campaign, I
diversity.
just
We will give voice
no.
to the
If you want to be a
voiceless.
leader,
And in
why
every
you have
decision we
to
make
throw
as your
all the
government,
shit to
we
people
will
like that?
always put this country and its people first.
They have to pick people up, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happened. You got to lift people up
We will
always.
help the widow that lost her husband after 48 years of common life. We will do more for the student that took part in the walk on climate. And when we will be there for the mother who has 2 jobs, 3 kids, and needs a little bit more help at the end of the month.
We will fight for all people, including people like Dean.
Wow.
These last few days,
Like who?
I've done rallies across the country, and in a few of them, I've told Dean's story.
Oh, Dean is the guy.
Had voted conservative his entire life. But this time around, he decided to vote liberal on behalf of his daughter. You see, he understood that this election was about so much more than just the next 4 years. That this election is about the next 40 years. It's about the kind of Canada that his daughter and her kids will grow up in.
You see, that's what I
But
mean.
tonight,
It's about the future and
I
the
want to say
environment.
this to Dean. I need to earn your vote, not just your daughter's. And over the coming years, I plan on doing exactly that. My friends, this election was about you, about the world your kids will inherit. And tonight, we chose to move Canada forward. Tonight, Canadians have charted a path for the future, and I know we will walk it together. Nous allons avancer.
We will go forward together towards a better future. Thank you, everyone.
Yay! Good night, Sophie.
Okay, there you have it. Justin Trudeau, as I said, that's very unorthodox for one leader to start talking before the other leader, the opposition leader in this case, has finished. So we are going to bring you back from where we stopped the live of Andrew Scheer. We've rewound that tape, and we're going to let you hear the rest of Andrew Scheer's speech tonight from his Regina.
Andrew Scheer treated him like shit for this whole election.
Or simply told your friend and neighbor why you were voting conservative. Our party is strong. It is united, and we are on the march, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you cannot just cut people out like that, right? You have to
We
be
ran
make
an
sure
excellent campaign from
we all the
and
same.
for that we should all
Listen,
be
they're gonna
proud.
play it again anyway.
And finally,
Yeah, I know.
on a
Look,
personal
but
note,
again,
I want to thank
in
my
the
wife
same
Jill
time, look.
and our 5 children who have been so
5
supportive.
children. Oh wow. He's a Mormon.
No, Mom, he's a Catholic.
He's a Catholic.
He's not a Mormon, Mom. If he was a Mormon,
During
he would
all
win.
the long weeks
Okay.
no matter where public life has taken me,
Like the people of
will take me.
Alberta,
The
Alberta
greatest
is a
honor of my
Mormon
life
place.
is to be a husband
Sorry,
and
I'm
dad.
Calgary, Alberta. It's a Mormon place. They really hate him. Mormons, they really don't like him. Calgary is all liberal.
Now,
Everywhere
I have
else in
just
Alberta is
spoken with Prime Minister
conservative.
Trudeau to congratulate him on winning the most seats. And my message tonight is that the strength of our democracy is not only measured by the ballots we cast, but also by how we move forward after they're counted. Mes amis, je tiens à remercier nos
To thank
336
our 336 other candidates of the Conservative Party for their hard work during this whole campaign. I spoke earlier tonight with Justin Trudeau, and I congratulated him for winning the largest amount of seats tonight. And the strength of our democracy is not only measured by the fact of voting, but also in the way that we continue to go forward once those have been counted.
Tonight's result isn't what we wanted.
Yeah, he
I am
look
also
very
incredibly
calm and
proud.
cool.
Proud of our
He
team,
look more
proud of our
like
campaign, and
just
proud of the bigger and stronger conservative team that we will send to Ottawa.
Stephen Harper.
Now, there are still a number of really close races, so we don't know for sure how many more Conservatives Canadians will send to Ottawa tonight. But what we do know is that after the 2015 election, when Justin Trudeau looked unstoppable, when all the pundits and experts said it was the beginning of another Trudeau dynasty, that he would have 8 or even 12 years in power. But tonight, Conservatives have put Justin Trudeau on notice. And Mr. Trudeau, when your government falls, Conservatives will be ready and we will win.
You see, that's what I don't like what he's doing.
Oh, that's all right.
No.
Look, it's good. That's the part of the...
Mom, his whole campaign is about Trudeau, Trudeau, Trudeau.
Sure.
No.
Because she's the one in...
No, because when you have a political campaign, you cannot do it
Although
all
I'm
about the...
disappointed tonight, I am incredibly proud of our team, of our conservative movement. Remember, friends, on the night of October 2015, it was predicted that Justin Trudeau would run the country for 8 or 12 years. Nobody was giving us the slightest chance. But tonight, we've put Mr. Trudeau under notice. His leadership is damaged, and his time in government will soon end. And when this moment will come, Conservatives will be ready, and we will win.
That's how the election will come out. You have to take a check.
The fact is, Canadians
Take a
have
turn.
passed judgment on this Liberal government. Now, not only have they lost over 20 seats, but Mr. Trudeau has also lost votes and lost support in every region of the country. And ladies and gentlemen, we knew this was never going to be easy, but nothing worth achieving ever is. Only once in the history of this country has a first-term majority government been defeated. But we've also made some history of our own tonight. Tonight, we have accomplished what only 2 parties have ever done before by holding a first-term majority government to a minority.
Oh. 5-4.
We have picked up seats and support in almost every region of the country. And at the time I walked onto the stage, we are leading the popular vote, ladies and gentlemen.
Really, come out?
Yeah, Mom.
Popular vote.
More Canadians wanted us to win this election than any other party. And remember 2004, Stephen Harper's first election. He erased Paul Martin's majority and then went on to lead a Conservative government that lasted for nearly 10 years.
Paul Martin.
This is how it starts. This is the first step. And now we're heading back to Ottawa with a much bigger team, with more support from coast to coast, and with an endorsement from the Canadian people that we are the government in waiting.
Government in waiting.
It means the government that's going to take over when the government we have now falls.
My friends, I want to speak to the Quebec nation. With my Quebec team, we will continue to work for you. The values, the conservative values, are Quebec
That
values.
is a
and Quebec values
translator
are
is better
conservative
now.
values. The freedom of speech, less imposing states, and
Because when
acknowledge
Scheer
that
talks, he
dollars
uses very simple
spent
words in
by
French, Mom.
those who have earned
Because
it
it's on
are
his
better
first language,
spent
so
than
it's
by the
easier to
government who
translate.
have
Sure.
taxed it.
Justin Trudeau talks,
Those are Quebec values, and Quebecers
French is
can
his
count
first
on us
language,
to
right?
defend Quebec interests.
So he uses more complicated words.
With the rise of the separatist bloc Québécois and our dominant results in Western Canada tonight, Canada is a country that is further divided. Big nation-building projects and major industries remain under attack, keeping thousands of Canadians out of work and holding back our nation's potential. Our country is mired in deficits and sinking further into debt, threatening public services and even higher taxes. Canadians are falling further and further behind, with household budgets stretched farther than ever before. And as economic headwinds are gathering against us, we're as vulnerable as a country as we have ever been to the next inevitable downturn. But although the challenges we face are indeed big, I remain hopeful. Because Canada was built on conservative values, ladies and gentlemen, and conservative values will be what get us back on track. Belief in people, not government. A firm commitment to the freedoms we hold dear, the freedoms of speech, of thought, of religion, and of conscience. And belief that free markets, balanced budgets, and small governments are the best ways to create prosperity and lift people out of poverty. And a country where hard work is rewarded, not punished, and where the government realizes that the best way to help Canadians get ahead is to lift people up, not tear people down.
That's better. Yes.
I want to close tonight with the words of John Diefenbaker, who said this: I am a Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship in my own way, free to stand for what I think right, and free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. And as we look ahead to the challenges we will face in the next few years, we must take these timeless words to heart. Because Canada is not defined by any political party or movement. Canada endures, not because of any one government or leader, but because the values Diefenbaker so perfectly articulated transcend us all. It is because we are free. Free to worship, free to speak, and free to believe. It is because we are equal in opportunity and before the law. And it is because we are strong in character and in principle and in action. It is because we are all these things that Canada shines for everyone. And conservatives must always uphold these values, no matter what may come. Because if we should suffer them to falter, so too would Canada itself. Ladies and gentlemen, our story is just beginning. But let's remember this feeling. Coming close, but falling just short. And let's use it as fuel to redouble our efforts. Because our work is not over, Canadians are counting on us. Les Canadiens comptent sur nous. Canadians are counting on us. And when the time comes, and who knows when that will be, Canadians will need us to replace the Trudeau Liberals. With a conservative government that unites the country, celebrates our freedoms, honors its commitments, and serves to help every Canadian get ahead. Thank you so much for all the support you've given me. Thank you so much for all your hard work. From the bottom of my heart,
yeah, I do like
thank
him
you for your
because he
commitment
has
to
5
this
kids
party
and he
and the
cannot
ideals that we stand
go
for.
too
Merci
hard on
beaucoup.
it. He got to make sure if somebody look after them, he
Scheer
just get
completing his speech to supporters tonight. Listening in the room is Don Martin. Don, why don't you give me your immediate perspective, first of all, on how things unfolded there tonight with the leaders' speeches. You're there with Jason, and then you can sort of give us some substantive reaction to the speech itself.
Yeah, odd. Usually they wait until each one's finished, and to see Andrew Scheer barely get to the stage and Justin Trudeau come in, I think that kind of poor protocol, if you ask me. But listen, that was a rousing speech Scheer gave. He ticked all the right boxes. He pointed out that even in the face of defeated expectations, this party did pretty good by any other stretch of imagination. Most votes ever, higher number of votes than the Liberals had, gains in most provinces.
Look on TV, look at that guy. Look very serious. He lost election or what?
A lot of things to look optimistic about these. A year and a half ago, probably thought it was going to face another majority election by the Liberals. So I think he made the right points. The mood of the crowd lifted up with him a bit. It was actually one of his better speeches. I thought he nailed it.
Okay, and Jason, I think he wants to do that because one of the points he made was a special mention to Quebec, en français. So what will the reaction be to that? Is it enough? Does it change anything?
That is not enough.
Mr. Scheer won 10 seats in Quebec today. You know, we're talking about Mr. Singh. Oh, did he have a great campaign? Mr. Scheer won 10 seats in Quebec. Mr. Singh only won 25 seats across the entire country. So Mr. Scheer's got a good basis to work from. he and Mr. Trudeau are the only ones with any sort of a national party at all, by the way. And Mr. Scheer, frankly, has more of a national party than Mr. Trudeau. Mr. Trudeau essentially has no seats in Manitoba and Alberta, and very few in British Columbia. One of the things that I didn't see in Mr. Scheer tonight, which, by the way, I've been on a couple of these podiums over the years. Every time we win, every time the Conservatives win, 2008, 2011, I hear a lot of people on the other side saying 60% of the people didn't vote for you. How dare you have this, government that nobody supports? It's a phony majority. It's a phony minority. We've got a government today, 65% of the people didn't vote for Mr. Trudeau, but you're not going to do reform.
That's why he had no seat in Alberta and
They won today, good on them.
Manitoba.
The same kind of
No, Mama, it's always been like that. Manitoba,
Saskatchewan, sound like he's got any intention, Lisa, by the way, of backing away from the leadership. He basically dropped the gloves and said, get ready, we're a minority situation. As you pointed out earlier in the special, majorities normally only last a year and a half or so on average. We'll be back at this again, and he promises better things to come.
Okay, so what does this mean? Sort of give Canadians the picture of what the next, how tough is it going to be governing this minority
They want to
under
be
these
everything.
circumstances?
Well, keep in mind that Jason's had experience on this. You don't necessarily have to bow down to the balance of power and say, follow, take your wish list.
Okay, get ready for bed, look back. You only have few hours to sleep, Paco. That's enough. I'll finish it very shortly.
Okay, Mommy,
Oh.
Yeah, I agree, Lisa. This is.
Mommy, I'm gonna set
สวัสดีค่ะสวัสดีค่ะพี่นี่มองไม่เห็นเมื่อกี้ก็หนาวละตีค่ะค่ะตอนกลางคืนนะคะตอนกลางคืนนะคะน้องค่ะพี่นี่มัวแต่ดูทีวีกับคุยกับลูกเลยไม่เห็นใครเข้ามาเมื่อกี้นะคะรอบวงสวัสดีนะคะ
I'm gonna wake up at like 5:30, okay? I'm gonna
Yeah.
do my hair and all that, okay?
Yeah.
Please, if I do not get up, wake me up.
Okay.
Hey, drag me out of bed if you have to. I have
5
to.
o'clock
I have to look nice. It's my graduation picture. Get me out of bed, please.
Okay turn off the light ลูก turn off one light in front of Elizabeth May coming พี่นี้กำลังดูเลือกตั้งของประเทศแคนาดาอยู่นะคะจะจบแล้วล่ะใกล้จะจบแล้วรู้แล้วว่าใครเป็นนายกอะไรอย่างนี้นะคะนายกก็คนเดิมนั่นแหละนะคะ
I am so proud of our team from coast to coast to coast to all of our team in Quebec. I want to give you a big thanks to Pierre Nantel, to Green, to Bejane, all the candidates. And
คุณรถตัดอ้อยนะคะสวัสดีนะคะสวัสดีทุกคนค่ะสวัสดีทุกคนนะคะ เดี๋ยวพี่นี่ก็อยู่ไม่นานแล้วล่ะเพราะว่าพี่นี่จะจบแล้วนะคะผลการเลือกตั้งอะไรก็ออกมาเรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะแต่ชอบดูพี่นี่ชอบดูชอบฟังนะคะเพราะมันได้ข้อคิดดีๆนะคะ
I'm listening to her.
3 times more seats than in 2015. Why do I stand here?
3 times what I say again 3 times more seat
And in a minority parliament, we know we can work hard.
ประเทศนี้เขาให้ความสำคัญเกี่ยวกับสิ่งแวดล้อมมากเลยค่ะ
We can make a really significant contribution in a minority parliament, and we will. I stood on a stage in Victoria September 11th, and I saw the school climate strikers in front of me. I saw Emma Jane, I saw Emma, and I saw Rebecca, and I said, jump up on stage with me. So if you see some teary faces up here, this was a children's crusade, and I vow not to let them down, because what they just said to me was they feel as though what happened doesn't Canada care about our future. And what I want them to know and what I want all Canadians to know is that I think and I know in my heart that all Canadians do care about the future. They care about the climate crisis. And to those leaders who told them, and I'm speaking, of course, to Prime Minister Trudeau and to Mr. Singh, who said they had a plan for climate that would protect our children's future while not having one. We go to Parliament determined to ensure that you actually have one while we still have the chance before the window on 1.5 degrees Celsius global average temperature increase closes for good. We will not allow the Parliament of Canada in its 43rd session to let down our children. Au revoir.
เย่เขาให้ความสำคัญกับในอนาคตนะคะเด็กๆในอนา
And
ค
that
ต
makes
มาก
me so angry when people say, "Oh, I don't believe in climate change. I think it's stupid." Oh my God, that
ค่ะ
makes me so
สำคัญมากเลยกับสิ่งแวดล้อมนี่นะคะ
La lutte continue.
The fight continues.
Speaking French
We're not disappointed.
พูดภาษาฝรั่งเศสค่ะเขาพูดกัน2 ภาษานะคะ
Of a minority parliament, it is such a better situation. in
Oh, the
majority
girl
parliament.
on TV on the
No, Mom, that's a different
Vancouver
girl.
Island, who we believe had essentially won the campaign at many points through this election campaign. I won't dredge up what we experienced here. I just want to say that I am so extraordinarily proud to have campaigned with all the candidates across this country for the Green Party of Canada. I send out my love and thanks to my husband, John Kidder, who did not win in Mission Matsui Fraser County, but did better than any Green has ever done before.
yeah
And to all his volunteers, and I particularly, she's not with us here tonight, but I couldn't be prouder than to have had Lydia Huitzum campaign with us as the Green Party candidate in Cowichan, Malahat, Langford, doing a spectacular job as a Green candidate there. And here in the ridings closest to mine, and of course a huge shout out to Jenica Atwin and Paul Manley, who are
เอาหมด
celebrating
ที
as
ก็
well.
เกือบ
Don't
3
celebrate too
เกือบ
long,
ตี
we have to
3
get
แล้
to
ว
work soon. But I do want to say that I do stand before you heartbroken because Russell Coy is a spectacular Indigenous woman whose voice I wanted to hear in Parliament.
yeah wow that's a voice Camille
No, it just makes me sad because
Nothing
nobody
bad
gives
like
a
it.
damn.
Ken at the scrambled sandwich soup, kind of a down to the wire finish, but we'll run again. So, for the record books, this is the best election result that any Green Party in any first past the post system has ever had. This is the best result ever, and we enter Parliament as the first caucus in the history of our Parliament that is 2/3 women. Just saying.
yeah just saying it's so happy that's
To
fun
each, to chaque et chacun qui a travaillé comme bénévole,
To
je
each
veux dire
have
grand
worked
merci.
as
To every single
volunteers, I
volunteer
want to say thank you.
in this country. I can't thank you enough. I literally can't. But I will keep trying. Your dedication, your love, your care, your concern, your shoe leather, you knocking on doors and talking to everyone. We have raised awareness. We have raised consciousness. We have raised our vote. But
Yeah.
the goal here has always been to deliver the kind of government Canadians deserve. Let's hope that as all the other parties, well, except the Bloc, which les félicitations, Monsieur Blanchet, qui a fait
Congratulations to Mr. Blanchet, who did a great campaign and has won a great
les niveaux d'appui pour le Bloc
increase in
québécois.
support for the Bloc Québécois. So
Québécois
Les libéraux
we have
diminués.
the Liberals are lower, Conservatives
Le Bloc québécois avec un
without a win, a big win for the Bloc, the NDP losing almost all their seats in Quebec
et aussi partout au Canada.
and across Canada.
Ils ont perdu le siège.
They lost their seats, but
Il a fait une campagne.
he still did the campaign, and
Le parti NPD
the
maintenant
NDP now remains a fourth party in the comments,
et nous restons le
and,
cinquième. Ce
and we
n'est pas
stay
le
the
pire.
fifth. It's not the worst.
It's not the worst thing in the world. We're in that parliament. It's a minority parliament. We're going to make it by dint of hard work, moral suasion, and non-stop arm twisting. And I guess the phrase really is.
I can't
holding
get
your feet to
enough
the
that
fire.
old-
There
this
will be
woman
crispy
here.
toes. Yeah.
you
Thank you all. Thank you all. I want to give this. I want to pass the podium now to the dame la parole. Mes
I
collègues,
will now pass the word to
les candidats
colleagues, the
extraordinaires.
amazing
David
candidates.
Murder and Russell Coy. I'm not sure which order you wish to speak. Russell first. Russell, there aren't words.
หัวเด่นเอา
Elizabeth May, leader of the Green Party. Annie Bergeron Oliver is there in that room. And Annie, I mean, I don't get the feeling there was a lot of soul searching on her role as leader of the party. In fact, she says, look, now she's tripled the numbers. So give us some perspective on the future of the Green Party under Elizabeth May.
Green. In the whole of
Well, Elizabeth May says that the future for this party is great. You heard her say that a minority situation is better than a majority situation because the Green Party can contribute.
Awesome.
They can hold Trudeau's feet to the fire when it comes to climate change and his environmental plans, and that's really where they're going to focus. She now has 3 MPs. She also has more support across the country, as you heard her say. More second-place finishes than ever before, and more ridings with more than 10% as a popular vote. So this is a successful night for May. Not quite as successful as she would have hoped initially. At the beginning of the campaign, they were hoping for 20 seats, maybe even more than that. Their goal tonight was between 3 and 6, so they did hit that goal. And as she said, they now have 3 members of the Green Party who will be representing the Green Party in Ottawa, and they'll be able to make sure that climate change is a priority for this new government. Lisa?
Okay, interesting, Annie. Thanks for that. And as she said, 2/3 of it are women. So there's an interesting plus for them. We're going to go to Kevin Gallagher now, who's with Jagmeet Singh's riding. We saw a lot of
all
dancing
night long
going on
the
there.
women
Looked like
here
a big
doing it
celebration,
The after party
Kevin.
now.
But again, just like Elizabeth May's riding, she's in 5th place and she's celebrating a victory. You are at the 4th place leader headquarters, and it also looked like a victory lap.
Well, you know, they are certainly dancing like it is a huge victory. The NDP lost a lot of seats today, Lisa, but at the same time, because of the minority parliament, they feel that they've gained influence in the House of Commons. Now, this will come down to how they can negotiate that influence. What will they try and pressure the Liberals to do on climate change? What will they try and pressure them to do to set up a pharmacare system? And what will they try and do to make housing more affordable? These are the core tenets of the NDP platform. But how much will Trudeau and the Liberals call the NDP bluff? This is a party that's had a very difficult time raising money, and certainly financially is not in good shape to head back out on the campaign trail anytime soon. So look for some intense negotiations.
Oh, they have party dancing now.
But certainly
they're going to dance, and then tomorrow Singh and Trudeau are going to have a phone call, and they're going to negotiate their agreement to work together.
They better go
Tonight
to
they're just
bed.
going to party first.
Now, we'll get a sense from Joyce and Scott on just what it will look like governing. When will Trudeau have to lean in for those 25 seats, the support? What a curious government it's going to look like.
And what a curious evening it has been. I mean, just as Mr. Scheer was walking in to give his speech, Mr. Trudeau was walking here, and it was a little bit confusing. So, a fragmented parliament, a divided country. I mean, what a job he's going to have to put this all together. And he's said absolutely nothing about talking to other parties, about having to communicate or even collaborate with others or play with others. He did
Go to bed ลูกเป้าพุทธเจ้าดาวเดี๋ยวคุณไนท์แล้วเอา pick you up เรา 5 o'clock เอาพุทธเจ้าดาวเอา yeah okay 5 or 6
No, it's not 6, Mom. I need more time.
Okay.
5:30 at the latest.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting. All right, Joyce, thanks for that. Scott, I just want to get your read first of all. That it was okay to step up to the microphone while Andrew Scheer was really just a couple of minutes into his own speech.
I can't believe anybody actually advised.
ตี 3แล้วค่ะที่นี่ง่วงกันเนี่ย
The challenges of the evening with
Oh.
Same game of victory speech tonight. But he's got 25 seats. He only ended up 14-15% of the vote. He was supposed to get 20, and he is in a diminished position. So, it's going to be interesting to see which of these minority parties decide that it's in their interest to go back to the polls soon.
Yeah, those 24. Yeah, Bloc Québécois, who has said tonight in his speech that he is happy to work with any of these parties at any time as long as Quebec's interests are taken into account. So there's going to be a lot of pulling of the blanket in the House of Commons. It's going to be a pretty interesting parliament. Sure is. You say 24 seats diminished, certainly, but they may come in handy for the Liberals, as you say, though, on a case-by-case basis. So, Joyce Reedy, thank you so much for your perspective there. Now, I just want to weigh in with Omar, get a sense of still things unfolding in British Columbia. Let's get a look right now at the closest races. There are still some we just can't call.
Yeah, three very, very tight races, some of the tightest in the country. And here's a map of British Columbia right now. We've been talking a little bit about how regionalized the results have
Oh,
been.
wow.
British Columbia, where you see exactly those pockets of support. Let's go for Metro Vancouver and zero into some of those specific ridings. Let's start with Port Moody, Coquitlam. Port Moody, by the way, my hometown. I know this from having lived there, how bitter it can be. Right now, it looks like it's full of three-way battle last time we checked. And just take a look at that. I mean, here is the Conservative leading right now by just 55 votes, it looks like. And they said we've got 195 out of 204 polls reporting. So 15,764 votes for the Conservative candidate, 15,709 for the NDP, and 14,873 for the Liberal. Let's switch the board. Take you to another very, very tight race right now. Cloverdale, Langley City, and right now this looks like it is a two-way race as those numbers pop up. And again, here the margin is a little bit wider with 191 polls reporting, I should say.
โอเค พี่นี่ต้องไปนอนแล้วนะคะ3:00 กว่าแล้วค่ะ ขอบคุณนะคะ ทุกคนค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ ขอบคุณนะคะ แล้วก็จะคุยกันพรุ่งนี้เช้านะคะสวัสดีค่ะ